Welcome to the One Up Podcast. I am your host, El Caballo, aka Tony, here with some of my best friends, Doughy, Pucho, and Mateo. And by the way, today's a special day because it's Mateo's birthday. Happy birthday, Mateo, you old fuck.
Birthday. Happy birthday, buddy.
I guess I am the old man of the crew here, huh?
Yeah.
How old you turning? 43?
35, dude. Not quite 43 yet.
That's a thing.
Added extra.
Nah, it's all
years.
good. In 2 months, I'll be turning 31. So
Ooh.
we're all going up in numbers.
Are you the oldest out of y'all's group?
I think I'm the youngest guy.
I'm 32. Oh, I'm going to be 32 this year.
When's your birthday?
Wow.
No,
My birthday's today, dude.
no,
We
his
just talked about
birthday's
that.
No, his birthday's in November.
That's crazy.
That's, you know what I mean? After so long of being friends.
I'm older than you.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm the eldest. I'm the Elder Scrolls. I'm Elder Scrolls Morrowind. I'm Elder Scrolls Oblivion. You guys are just Skyrim.
Wow.
Skyrim's a better game.
Not if
I don't
Doughboy's
like
playing
Elder
it.
Scrolls, man. I played Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, and they're just not for me.
I know that Doughy liked Oblivion a lot because you could level up your jump and jump on top of buildings.
That was
Oh
the
my-
coolest thing in the world to me.
No, it
'Cause
wasn't.
It was yes, it is. Here's the cool thing about Oblivion and Morrowind. Those games were more geared towards like old school D&D, where you could like create a character and be like, "Oh, my character's a merchant, and he's gonna do this and that, and this is who your character is." You know what I mean? So, I enjoyed that more than
I didn't enjoy it at all. Me and Pucho would sit on the couch and just watch you do this all day. Everywhere he went, it was a hop. I was
I
like,
also-
what the fuck?
I also have a fixation on jumping in video games. If a video game doesn't have a jump button, I'm already turned off. Like, it's weird.
Remember that Half-Life thing, the exploit that the speedrunners use, where if you jump backwards, it increases the speed of Gordon Freeman?
Yeah, the bunny hop. That shit was in I don't know. It has something to do with like how you program like an FPS game. But it was bunny hopping was something that was common across like the early Half-Life games. Like I think Quake had it.
Tribes. Tribes was all about that shit, the bunny hopping and skiing.
You don't remember Unreal Tournament? They had the railgun servers, just the railgun, and everybody hopping around.
I like the sniper and bazooka, I think, servers for Unreal Tournament. It's something like that. It was just snipers and rocket launchers.
That shit sounds like a fucking ugly shit show of shit.
Dude, I was always an Unreal Tournament dude rather than Quake. Like that was my favorite one.
I've never played Quake.
I didn't really play a
all the
lot of
same.
Quake.
You move really fast and you shoot people.
hmm
It's-
Just a twitchy FPS game.
Mhm.
So
Now that
I'll say this though. The one thing that I'm with Doughy that I do find the idea that you could like level up a jump to be like kind of interesting. Like because I remember like when I would play San Andreas, right? Back in the day, right? The Grand Theft Auto game. The first thing that I would do, literally opening mission, as soon as I got on foot, you could just move freely. I would go and steal a bicycle and I would just ride the bicycle because the more you ride the bike, you level up your bike skill. Once me and Ray would do this all the time. Once you hit peak like bike skill, the hop on the bike was so high that you'd be riding down these like LA streets and you could just hop right on top of like an overpass. So like the highway will be here, you'll just bunny hop like 30 feet in the air.
that's
It was insane. I just the first thing I did in San Andreas was like I'd level up my bunny hopping, then I'd go to the beach and just dive under the water and stay there because then you'd get like more stamina and like lung capacity, and then I'd go to the gym and make him like maximum buff, and then I don't have to do any of this grindy shit. The rest of the game I just play. And that you could run forever, but like you'd ride a bike, you could hop anywhere you want on top of houses.
Knock a
Didn't it
man
go-
out with one punch.
didn't it go down over time though? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it would go down over time, but
It
like,
was real slow though.
once you put in that early work, after that it's like a 2-minute thing of just like every like dozen hours. You're like, all right, let me just hop around for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, I like that shit because there was one time where I just said, fuck, I'm gonna make this dude overweight as fuck. And I just kept I just kept eating fast food and fast food. No workout, no nothing. The dude was huge.
Was there any statistical advantage to being overweight in that game? Give you more health or something?
You took more bullet damage.
Hmm.
That just made that up. That was not true.
No, I think it might be true. Dude, I remember the lead up to San Andreas was crazy, dude. I remember reading about like how bullet damage will work. Like if you shot someone in the leg, they might not die, but if you shot them in the chest, they would. I remember thinking that shit was so novel because, again, back in them days, man, the games just weren't that. The systems weren't that good.
Mm-hmm.
San Andreas didn't deliver like that quality of stuff that I remember reading in like Game Informer and shit like that. But
dude, Game Informer hyped up every game that was coming out though. Like every game was gonna break your brain. Like you've never seen systems like this in a game before.
It was almost a blessing in disguise, though, because look, we haven't gotten a Grand Theft Auto game, and it's about to be 10 years or something like that. And back then, we were getting Grand Theft Auto games like every other year. Every like 2 or 3 years, we was getting like a quality title. Even the ones for PSP were good. The Liberty City Stories and the
it was all right.
On the go. Like
what is Rockstar working on right now though? Like, there's got to be a Grand Theft Auto game in
they're
development,
working
right?
on making more money off Grand Theft Auto 5.
Fucking GTA Online, dude.
they released Red Dead 2, and they're like, "Yeah, it's okay. We're still making bank on GTA Online." Like, no,
that's crazy.
I haven't played GTA Online like that at all.
We were playing a lot for a while. That game is a lot of fun if you got a big, good group to play with.
Yeah, I remember when the heist first came out, we hopped online with you because you had been playing it. We played, I think, one heist, and then I think we just never played it again.
We gave shit to Doughy last time about spending $200, $240 or whatever on South Park Phone Destroyer. I have bought Grand Theft Auto 5 3 times.
Jesus.
I think the first time I got the collector's edition, I've got a box somewhere behind me. So like I spent $100 on that or 150 or something. Then I bought it again on PlayStation 4, and then I bought it on PC. So I've bought that game 3 times.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I bought it twice. I bought it on PS3 and on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking dumb. I remember seeing the first person like camera on the PS4 one, and I was like, "Oh shit, that looks crazy." I'll buy it to beat it in first person. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't like GTA 5. I didn't like it. I haven't honestly. I haven't liked the Grand Theft Auto games in San Andreas. As crazy as that sounds, I just haven't beat them. Like I didn't finish Grand Theft Auto 4. I didn't finish Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS3, and I got even less far. I've made less progress on the PS4 one. So
GTA 4 was all right. I like the Ballad of Gay Tony a lot.
Oh yeah, that was fire.
Yeah, that's fire.
Crack.
And I did like GTA 5 a lot. Funny enough, you guys were watching Snowpiercer or are watching Snowpiercer. Did you recognize Trevor in
Yes.
in Snowpiercer?
Yes, I did.
That's him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's him.
Pike. It's fucking Pike. Holy shit. I'm like, where do I know this guy from? I'm like, this guy's voice. I'm like, his acting style seems. I'm like, where do I know this guy from? But I don't remember seeing him in a movie. It's fucking Trevor.
Yeah.
Yep.
He also went. He also went
playing the
full ball.
Snowpiercer version of Trevor too.
Pike's arc in Snowpiercer is pretty cool. Even in the second season, I've been watching a lot. His arc in that season is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I hate him.
What?
Why?
The man's a local hood drug dealer.
Sorry, who's Pike?
Pike is the guy who, at the end of the first season, kind of betrays him, or like,
Right, exactly. Yeah,
offers
I hate
up on
him.
a plate.
I hate that guy. Yeah,
But
he sucks.
really, all around character, just not good.
I mean, I didn't see season 2, so maybe
I haven't
there's
seen season 2
maybe
yet.
there's additional character development there. But just from in the first episode, I think they put him to sleep in the very first episode, or maybe the second episode, right?
Yeah.
He already was trying to betray the main character off rip, like in that opening segment. And in that moment, it's a little bit more understandable. And he basically tells him, "Yo, we're gonna put you to sleep. We're gonna figure this shit out. Like we're gonna like." And the dude basically complies to say, "All right, if you think this is gonna help us tailies, then let's do it." And then what happens? he delivers on everything. They take over the whole fucking train and everything. And then when he wakes up, what does he do? He betrays him? The shit is baffling to me.
Mhm.
He delivered on the ultimate promise. The Tailies run the motherfucking train, and this motherfucker betrays him. To me, that shit was nuts. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was lame. The guy's a piece of shit.
If I'm not correct, like the very next episode, he kind of just tells him, and then he kind of is just like, all right, like it doesn't really make a big deal out of it.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
But it pissed me off. I don't
just
like
think
betrayal.
the Tailies have like had nothing. Also, I also don't want to drop a spoiler for next season because they do build on his character, and it does show why he's like the outcast of even the Tailies.
And
Kinda
season 2 is
don't
still in
fuck with-
progress, right?
Yeah,
it's
they're
not
dropping-
done.
Every week they're dropping an episode. I've been staying up with it. Fantastic. Second season, Sean Bell, perfect Mr. Wilford. What a creepy asshole.
Sean Bell?
Sean Bell is Mr. Wilford.
Sean Bean?
My bad. Sean Bean.
I'm just wondering. I don't know the
Sean Bean.
actor.
Sean
Ned
Bean.
Stark.
Yes.
Trevelyan from Golden.
Holy shit, that is Ned Stark.
Boromir from Lord
What?
of the Rings.
I was trying to
Wait.
figure out where I know this fucking face from. And holy shit.
The honorable
It's the
Ned.
fucking beard and the head. Bro, that shit threw me off. Now I know. Wow, this show's amazing.
And
Yeah.
Tony sounds real buffled about that.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
yeah,
fucking
super buffled.
David Diggs, Leighton, by far one of my favorite characters I've watched on TV in a very long time. Movie.
He was in
Yo, I
Hamilton.
love his eyes. I love his eyes, bro.
that motherfucker got crazy.
Bro, that it's so intense. Some of his scenes
The fuck?
are so intense because of it.
Have you not
see this
seen that
shit?
guy's eyes? Every time he's shocked about something, all he could do is open them like to fucking lemur levels of eye openings. And then he just stares at you until you're overwhelmed by the pressure, where you either try to assault him or you back down. That's how all the scenes in Snowpiercer play out.
God
He
damn it.
defeats-
That's all I'm gonna see now, dude.
I love David Diggs. I honestly I got super hyped watching Snowpiercer when I saw David Diggs was in it. I
He
watched. There's this other movie. Is it Blind Spotting? That movie's
Blindspotting.
awesome. Yeah, he plays a dude who's it's his last day of like he got like one more day of parole, right? And shit just kind of keeps happening where he's like every situation, like his friend got a gun, they get pulled over by a cop, the cops are harassing him, he's late getting home, like all these things keep happening, and he's about to like fuck up his parole and go back to jail type of shit.
Damn.
It is just a very simple movie. He works in like, I think he's like a moving guy, like he helps move people. It's just a very basic plot like that. It was cool. And then he plays two characters on Hamilton. The play.
He plays Lafayette and
Thomas Jefferson.
gotcha.
Yeah, and he plays Thomas Jefferson really fucking good. Very ignorant. It's very funny.
I liked his Lafayette a lot. It's sort of like the.
I gotta
think he
watch
does. I think he raps in French at some point, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
you guys should watch Hamilton. That's just fire.
So on with the show. Doughboy, do you want to start off and explain how we all met, or should we just all just
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely. I'll bring you guys back. I just want to just close your eyes and think of a simpler time when we were all in middle school and we were all just little horny kids just trying to get another day through, all right? It's the first day of 6th grade. I'm coming in from 5th grade, all these bigger kids now. It's weird when you go through school, you're like start as the lowest level and then you're like the 5th graders and then you're looking down at all the kindergartners like what? You know what I mean?
Is that what you did? You were over there like checking the kindergartners.
It was only because it was like a rite of passage. Because when I came in, that's what they did to us in New York. Like the older kids are like just more aggressive for some reason. And then they're in New York, they have like these scissor stairwells, and you go up like that, and you keep going up like a scissor, and then in the middle you see the other side. It's like a gate. And it would always be right there that people would want to like talk mad shit and shit. So, anyways, that's New York. I had recently moved to Florida. 6th grade, I was probably a year or two into me being in Florida. So I sit down, I'm in math class. Mr. Bear, Mr. something like that. It was a Mr. I know it's a math teacher. I sit down, chilling. Tony gets sat right next to me. They sit him right next to me.
Poor guy.
Me not knowing that this would happen a lot in the future. And then I was like, "What's up?" He was like, "Oh, what's up?" And that was the beginning of a beautiful relationship. We had ESE classes together. So we were the
What is ESE?
It's like the special class.
special class. We were in
That's where they put all the bad kids and all the slow kids in.
yeah,
Which one were you, Tony?
I was definitely a bad kid.
Yeah.
But everybody
was,
would like to make it. Look at the jokes. The jokes just come in.
I understand anything.
But
So I got like extra time on tests. That's like what you get a little extra time on tests and stuff like that. One time, my handwriting was pretty terrible when I was younger.
that's probably
Still
why they
is.
put you in there.
So I was able to get this lady from my FCAT to write my writing FCAT for me. All I had to do was tell her what to write. Oh, dude, I got a 6 on that shit. Like I got a high ass score on it because I was just able to say what I was thinking, and she just wrote everything down. So
So for those that don't know, the FCAT is like the Florida version of like a statewide, like a statewide test. I think it stands for the Florida Comprehensive Assessment Test or something. And basically, at various grades, if you don't pass this test, you just don't pass the grade.
Yep.
So
Yeah, in Texas, ours is called TAAS, like TAAS, Texas Academic Assessment something. That probably not the
does
actual word,
everybody
something.
did everybody hate it? Like,
Oh, I mean, dude, that shit was cake though. Like, I mean, I had a different experience. I was in like the gifted and talented courses, so like, we basically didn't do any prep or anything for that shit.
in
We mostly
Florida,
played-
the schooling is so bad and education is so bad in Florida that the only thing anybody ever learns in school is how to pass this test. That's like maybe 90% of the curriculum that everybody experiences throughout their like all of their schooling is like what do you need to do to pass this test? Like,
that was the focus for like 99% of the school. Honestly, like I mean that's Texas education in a nutshell. It's just prepping for
So
whatever
going
statewide
back,
mandated thing they have.
going back on the Doughboys meetup, I was in Orlando for 6th grade. Like the first half of I took my first half of 6th grade in Orlando. Moved from Orlando back down to Lake Worth, and the second half of the 6th grade is where I met Doughboy.
oh really? So that was the middle of the school year.
Yeah, I didn't meet you first day in 6th grade because we lived in Orlando, and I already started middle school in Orlando. And this is why it's funny because over there I don't know why, maybe in that school there was no special classes or anything ESC or anything like that in Orlando. Came down here, moved, got put in the class first day, didn't know what the fuck class. I'm just in the classes. Met, and I did sat next to Doughboy, and Doughboy
Wait, pause. These classes are for bad kids, and you got put there on your first day. How did they know you were a bad kid on the first day?
Bro,
Tony?
I
Criminal
don't.
record.
I'm letting you know,
Criminal
like,
record. No.
This was a
no, I was
different
bad.
class
In,
we
no,
went
I
to.
was kind of bad in Orlando. Like in Orlando, I had a detention and suspension for fighting doing stupid shit, like just whatever. And obviously that transfers when they see your report. That transfers with you. So whatever. So I get put back. I get in that class. I meet Doughboy, and we were just two fat little pudgy kids, and we became cool. Like we started talking and being disruptive and shit. And what class was? Oh, we was in I think it was a social study class though. We had Mills, Lizard Neck Mills. Remember that guy?
That was in high school. Yo,
No, that was not in high school. That was in middle school.
No,
That was
Lizard
Lakewood
Neck
Middle.
Mills, that is high school.
No, it wasn't. That was middle school though. I'm telling you. That because we had Freddie and all of them in that class though.
We went to middle school with Freddie,
Yes,
and we
that
went
was
to high school with Freddie and Lizard Neck Mills.
Lizard Neck Mills.
Okay, Tony.
All right, whatever. So, anyways, we met in that class. whatever, for years, whatever. And then one day I get to school early one time, and this is where I meet Pucho. It was in the gym.
Yeah. What grade?
That was 6th grade when I met
Sixth
Pucho.
grade. I also think it was before. You're saying that you did half of the school year.
Well,
in
not
Orlando?
the whole
I think
half.
It had to be
It was a. I started in Orlando, and then we moved down. I don't know if it was the exact half or a little bit before, but
yeah. I think it has to be less, only because like I remember like we used to go onto the school property like early and just sort of spread around the school, and people would get into fights and stuff like that in the back of the school by the portables and things like that. And then they locked the school down. So like then you weren't able to enter the property anymore. So that's why I'm pretty sure by the time it was halfway through 6th grade, I remember being upset because where we met, we didn't meet at Jam Club. That's where we like started like playing basketball and shit. We met just playing like Sting or handball or something in the courtyard of the school. I don't know if you remember, like in that courtyard by the between the cafeteria and the gym, everybody used to just throw up. What would they used to call it?
I think it's handball or Sting. Where you
because like, I growing up, we used to call this shit Sting, but I feel like in Florida they called it something else. It's escaping me. But basically, it's so stupid. You throw a ball against the wall like hard, and then it bounces off the wall. Someone attempts to catch the ball. If that person doesn't catch the ball,
you have to run up and touch the wall.
You have to run up and touch the wall before someone beams you with the ball. And that's literally the whole game. It's basically everybody just trying to hit each other with this ball.
Ours was that. We called it wall ball. But also, if you were running up, if they bounced the ball off the wall first, you had to line up on the wall, put your hands on the wall, and they got to take a free throw at you.
I remember
we used to do this. I just don't remember why. Maybe that was the rule.
Yeah, we called it wall ball, and we played this every damn recess. And somehow the teachers let us play this game where you would just line up people like a firing range and just launch a ball as hard as you could at their back.
Times
like in New York, we might have called this game booty in my neighborhood or something like that. Because then someone used to have to like just stay on the wall and just stay and let somebody just beam their ass with this ball.
I don't remember playing it like that.
No, you could always spot the mean kid because they went for the head. They went for that headshot. Nothing more frightening than having that ball whiz right by your ear and bounce off the wall when they miss.
That shit is sickening. You'd be like, damn, bro, you couldn't hit my back? No, you got to aim for the head.
Bro.
So that's where I met Pucho. In the courtyard. And I think they give out donuts too in the morning, Pucho.
Nah, that was Jam Club. Dude.
That was Jam Club?
So Jam Club, there was this guy, I don't remember his name, but I used to ride the bus to school. There was this kid, this white kid, Kyle, that he used to ride the bus with us. He lived by a church. And at this church, there was this guy, super nice guy. It always made me a little uncomfortable. Maybe this is fucked up to say, but I always found it a little weird that there was this grown-ass man just hanging out with a lot of kids. It just always, I never like, it's something about that seems so off to me that I just always felt uncomfortable. I never like
Was it that Javier guy? The weirdo guy that rides around Lake Worth?
No, I don't know who that is.
The Guatemalan guy. He just got accused of sexually touching some kid. He was a part of like the Guatemalan Mayan Center. You used to see him everywhere though. You used to see him volunteer a lot in schools and stuff like that as well. And it just came out that guy was.
Yeah, I feel like my mom's might have just told me something about this or something. Yep. I don't remember. But anyways, there's this guy. There's this other guy. He's a white man. He worked at the the church on 6th Ave, like right by PBCC when you're coming up that hill, right in that corner. He used to do something at this church. I don't know what it was, but some kind of like youth some shit. Anyways, he got some deal with the junior high school where we went to school, Lake Worth Middle. He had some kind of deal where basically he would get kids to go to school early, play basketball, and then he would give everybody donuts. Mm-hmm. It was this weird thing, but it was actually kind of cool because everybody used to be super hyped to go to school that day. Everybody used to, instead of getting into trouble before school, everybody went to class. They got to school early. It was like you got to be at school at like 7 a.m. or something, or 6 something, and you could play basketball for like an hour. And then everybody was hyped because everybody's hungry, right? We all want to eat all the time. So then it was free donuts.
Yep.
And that was Jam Club. The shit was fire. I love that shit.
What did JAM stand for?
No, Jesus and Me, I think. It was a Christian thing. I want to say that's
Gotcha.
what it stood for. So yeah, like I said, I think it's the Presbyterian Church or some shit. I don't know. And then it shit was weird. He used to make everybody pray either before we play basketball or before we got the donuts.
Can't do that shit now.
Well, he must have been unaffiliated with the school even back then.
He wasn't affiliated. I think he just got permission to use their gym and just some kind of like, because he used to bus us to school then too. Like I remember those days I used to walk to the church instead of the bus stop, and we used to get in his van and he used to drive us to the
That's
school.
so wild to think.
That's what I'm saying. The shit was weird. Like, and there was a lot of kids in the neighborhood that they used to hang out with the guy and shit like that. And again, as far as I know, super nice guy, just wanted the best for these kids growing up in these, ghetto neighborhoods and shit. I'm just saying that I always found that a little weird.
Yeah.
Just saying
guy
that
being around a lot of fucking 11, 12-year-old kids. I always found that odd.
You're saying there's an alternate universe out there where this story has a way different ending.
Unfortunately, yeah. I can't remember this guy's name either. That's
So
and then
good guy. I liked him. He was a nice guy.
And then
around this
Oh, go ahead, though.
around this time, sixth grade was I knew a bunch of people that put me onto like computers and computer games from my church that I was going to around that time, and they put me on a Counter-Strike, and they knew a guy that went onto the server and frequented at the server called Southern Alabama Noob Fest. And from my knowledge, he right around the time I started playing there, him and G-Man got into an argument or some shit like that, and him and G-Man like didn't like each other around that time. So
G-Man didn't like someone. That sounds so rare.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think his tag was like OE800 or something like that. He used to go into the server, but right around the time I got in there was when he stopped. So I started going in there, one of the most insane servers I had ever been to, but it was almost like the reason I kept coming back was I was like experiencing things and hearing things and gaining so much knowledge. Even like I didn't know what like racism to that level. Like I've never heard somebody spam the N-word on the mic and stuff like that. And it was just like foreign to me, like what was happening in the server.
That place was the Wild West. Like you could meet some really damn cool people there, but man, was there just some unchecked racism and like bunch of white people claiming that their racism was ironic. And no, it's not real racism. I'm just saying the N-word because other people get offended by the N-word. It's like, well, you're still saying the N-word though, buddy.
A lot of edgelords lived in that server.
Yeah, and this was like if 4chan had created a Counter-Strike server. That's what Southern Alabama Noob Fest became.
That shit
so
ridiculous.
After frequenting at that server for like a while, man, I'm talking about years and years. I met him like on the first or second year, and then we got into, if I'm not correct, I made a clan.
G-Man?
No, Mateo. I met Mateo. I'm there.
But so Mateo is G-Man?
No, G-Man is Adam.
No, I was Bandito. On those days.
Yeah, and he also had like his girlfriend at the time that used to Miss Bandita.
She was the Bandita.
Yeah, so it was cool with that. And then me and my brother would be on there all the time.
My brother.
So he knew my brother. Everybody knew my brother. And
the Joker and Doughboy, and those two were. You guys never played at the same time, right?
At one point we couldn't because we would use the same computer. But then my brother built me a computer from his old parts.
That's the first time I ever heard your mom too, because she would be yelling in the background constantly.
What?
Hey, you better be careful. You better be careful, Mateo. She's watching these pods. You better be careful.
What's going on here? No, she'll attest. Like some of the shit she heard there was like, what are these people talking about? And everybody would go ape shit when they heard that in the server. People will be typing, laugh out loud, because there's a lot of people. There was a few people that never had mics, and we would just know them by them typing in chat, and we knew that they didn't have mics and stuff like that.
Yeah, Spork was one of those. And man, I forget the other dude's name. He was notorious though, because he would get these crazy high kill counts. But he had the shittiest internet in the world, and that's the reason he would get these crazy high kill counts, because his character would just skip around like 10 feet at a time. It's like, can't kill this dude. He's in the Matrix, basically.
Never kill him.
Man, I forget that dude's name. I was good buddies with that guy for a little while.
Oh man, I know exactly who you're talking about. but his
Howdy? Is it Howdy?
Yes, I think so. It was Howdy. Yep.
Yeah, Howdy,
Wow.
all lowercase capital Y, I think, or some shit like that.
So then you guys
Yes.
met playing Counter-Strike?
Yep.
Counter-Strike 1.6.
I didn't actually meet these guys until 2015. I met them in 2003, 2004. I never actually met them till like 2015 when Adam G-Man kept hitting me up like, yo, come down, chill with us, see what's up. Especially after my brother had passed, I was going through a lot. And I think it was a very nice gesture. G-Man bought me a ticket going and coming, and he's like, yo, just, you stay at my house. And that's how I was able to meet Mateo. I was able to know all of them. My first blackout drunk experience was there.
Oh my God, that 6th Street night was intense. Doughy was my favorite blackout drunk person ever, by the way, because we're just walking down 6th Street, which is this area in Austin where it's just bars. Like it's just this huge pub crawl. You want to do like the full pub crawl and crawl to every bar there, you're going to die because there's so many of them. But Doughy was blackout drunk. He'd been blackout drunk for a while, but we're walking down the street and there's just these gorgeous college girls like walking by us. And we're like, I'm late 20s or mid 20s or something like that when you finally met us.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
I was like 25.
And Doughy's just going up to these girls and he's got his hands. He's like, I just want to say thank you. And they're like, what the fuck? And he's like, for being so beautiful.
Like, mama, thank you so much. Like, I was so drunk. Didn't I go to a Whataburger? I never ate a Whataburger. Apparently I did, and I threw up all over the place in front of cops.
100%, yeah.
What the
All over
fuck?
everything. I didn't even remember it.
Shout out Whataburger, right? I didn't have Whataburger till 2015, 16, 17, something like that. Shit is good. I'd put it up there as like under McDonald's, maybe, but like in that area above. I'd go to Whataburger before like Wendy's and Burger King.
Huh.
And they got a fat burger too. They giving you them thick old patties. They're like them fat boys. Not, it ain't no real burger type of shit, but it's, fast food shit.
Yeah, Torchy's Tacos was another one that I was like, this is where it's at.
And I'm trying to remember when's the first time is New York trip is when the first time I met Mateo?
It was definitely New York trip.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when I bought a ticket to go to New York for a weekend. I was like, oh fuck, I bought a ticket for like a week and a half in New York.
Jesus.
2 weeks. And then once we all learned about the mess up, like Pucho and Tony sprang into action. They're like, yo, we're gonna go over there.
It's funny.
Yeah,
yo,
that shit was awesome.
That was
Poor Doughy though, dude. You were not prepared for that. Like I remember it was like day 4 of me being there, and like you woke up and you just had this grumpy look in your eye. I was like, I'm just gonna give this dude some space. He was not prepared for all of us being here this long.
Something that I have carried with me since a child is like, when I wake up, I'm grumpy. I don't know why. When I wake up, you got to give me like an hour to like wake up. Like, just leave me alone and don't talk to me.
Didn't Tony and I climb into bed with you one morning when you were like
tight.
waking up and we pissed you off? You were fucking furious at us.
It's funny
so
too.
Weird. Yo, I wake up happy, yo. I'm happy I'm alive. I'm happy that I get to just get out of bed. I've been just doing nothing all night, and I get to wake up and just have fun. Like, I'm excited every time I wake up in the morning. Like, I can't wait. Unless it's for work. That just sucks. Ain't nobody.
Yeah, ain't nobody work. But that weekend was funny because Pucho called me on a Monday, I think it was. Maybe a Tuesday. He was like, yo, I was talking to Doughboy. Mateo's up there. He fucked up on his flights. He's there for an extended period of time. Just want to go up there or whatever, like a quick weekend trip. And I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds cool. Whatever. I'll check it out. End of conversation. And then the following day, I looked up. I think it was a Wednesday. I called you back. After I looked up the flights, I'm like, yo, them flights is cheap. I'm down to go. He was like, dead ass? Like, yeah, nigga, look at the flights. He looked. I was like, but I'm gonna drive to your house so we can leave on the same flight and go out. So I had to drive from West Palm to fucking Orlando, whatever, just so we can fly out together. Booked the tickets that night. Told my girlfriend at the time, which is my wife now, I told her, like, yo, I'm taking a quick weekend trip with the boys to New York. Da 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 da. Oh, okay. Boom. Got on the plane. Friday. Oh man. Friday at what? 9:00 at night. We left after work.
It was something like that. Yeah, you guys got there Friday night. My dad picked you up.
We went straight to the
we
bar.
arrived we arrived in New York maybe like 11:30. We landed, and then
and that's my first time in New York. Never been there.
Shout out to the ex-driver.
I was gonna say ex-drivers drove us to the Bronx. You know,
Yeah.
if you're driving.
Which blew my mind too, because we got there. I was already I was tired, right? Mind you, I was fucking tired, working all day, then driving 2 hours, then getting to his house, taking a quick little fresher shower, whatever the fuck you want to say. Got dressed, got in the car, we left, boom. Now we're in the airport. Hyped.
Bronx Ale House after when we got back. Well, I'm skipping.
Yeah, you're skipping. Got to the New York. Doughboy's dad, Clutch Man, came through. I did not know that you had to pay to cross the bridge every time. That's just beast.
Yeah.
So shout out to him for, giving us a ride and shit. Got to there, saw Mateo for the first time. Mateo's claim to fame this morning was he said that the first time he met me, I started screaming. They came. And
He said the first sound I heard Tony make.
yeah, the first time.
100%. I think you boys were drinking on the flight or something, so you guys showed up kind of hyped.
You're right.
Yeah,
we did buy a bunch of like little drinks on the plane.
Yeah,
we was
you
bumming.
boys were hyped when you showed up, and then like you'd been all like confined in an Uber or whatever the fuck in the back. Like you had some excess energy.
Yeah, so we got into the crib, met Mateo for the first time, and I'm just like, number one, and I'm just like, what are we gonna do now? Right? We sat down, we're all chilling or whatever. I think Jesus came over that night too, if I'm not mistaken.
Jesus, when we walked in the crib, Zeus was already on the couch playing the ending to GTA 5. I remember seeing it because I remember thinking, I don't like this game. This is probably the only opportunity I have to see the ending to this, unless I look it up on YouTube or something. So I was watching Zeus beat the game,
and we were just there chilling, like it. And there was I think there was a bottle there or something, or beer there, and it looked like what was happening is that we were just gonna go to bed, and I don't know if it was
some of that Ranger, the New Belgium Ranger, whatever. It was something like that. The
Voodoo Ranger.
Voodoo Ranger. That's the one.
And so we were all there chilling, and I was just like, I'm tired. I want to go to bed, but no. I was like, yo, let's go.
I remember we got into the house. The vibe was like, it was a little dim. It was already, by the time we got there, it was almost 1 a.m. It was 12 something. And I was like, yo, I woke up at, 6 something.
6.
We worked the whole day, drove to the airport, got on a plane, got to New York. We pulled up, had to drive to the Bronx. Like, it's like, yo, it's fucking late. I was like, damn, yo, I'm down to go to sleep on the low.
Yeah,
like,
me too. But
like dead ass, that was the vibes.
and then I was like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's go get drunk, nigga. I'm here. We're here on a quick weekend trip. Like, fuck the sleep. We don't need sleep right now. And then Doughboy was like, yeah, there's a Bronx Ale House. So he's like, fuck it, order the Uber. Mind you, it's us four and Jesus. Uber pulls up. It's a fucking like a Honda Civic. I go in the front.
Did we Uber to the Ale House? I thought we rode the train.
Nah.
We Ubered there.
We Ubered there and back. I got into the front seat automatically. Pucho.
I
remember the ride there being uneventful though. Like,
it wasn't. Yeah, I don't think we did that going there. We may have.
I think we took two cars going there.
I see.
Did we? I remember someone laying on top of somebody.
Go ahead.
What was that, Tony?
I remember someone laying on top of somebody. They just threw themselves in the fucking backseat of the car.
That was on the way back.
Oh, that was on the way back. Okay. All right. So going there might have been 2 cars. Cool. So we get there.
Well, that's why we did one car on the way back, because we took one car there and we're like, that shit was that. Or we took two cars and we're like, that was fucking pricey for us just going basically down the street a little bit.
Yeah, Uber was still a premium at that time. They weren't even like giving discounts or 10% off rides and shit like that.
Yeah, but then we go to Bronx Ale House, and that was the beginning of a great fucking weekend. We got fucking so drunk that we started singing
Sweet Caroline by
Caroline.
Neil Diamond.
On repeat.
Pucho blew his voice out that first night.
Yo, that's so beast, yo.
It was
I
It was
came in
those
healthy.
ba.
Next morning, we sang so hard. I was like, I can't talk right now. The shit was terrible. I had no voice for the whole weekend.
It was
that
something
shit.
about Pucho's tenor, like whatever the whole bar started
The whole
singing.
bar
Once
started
they heard
singing.
Pucho gave them the strength. Pucho wants to say, Pucho loves to say that other people invite energy. Wait
He
until
invited that
you're
shit.
with Pucho and everybody sees him having a good time, and then everybody's like, everybody was sweet Caroline.
Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, that shit
It was
was
those
lit.
ba-ba-bas, dude. That's what ruined it.
That shit was lit.
Yo, that shit was crazy. The whole fucking bar was just getting lit. That shit was fun. And just for the record, I'm not saying I think I give people energy in the sense that I have such a resting, angry face that everybody's like, oh shit, this is an angry man. And then as soon as they see that I'm happy, they're like, oh, like there's like a hype to that. I think that may be where that's coming from, but Tony invites nonsense.
I
Like
don't.
does have
Tony
that
will just have a
nonsense
guy
face.
walk up and just somebody will make a kind of remark. Like I'll be sitting at a bar just enjoying a drink with Tony, and then someone will just walk up and be like, "Oh, so you guys are rooting for the Giants?" And I'm like, nobody would ever come up and tell me this on a normal day. Like this is all Tony somehow. Like,
Mind you, I was not rooting for the Giants. I think I had a cowboy hat on, and he was like, "Oh, you're a Cowboys fan?" I'm like, "Yeah, like America's team. Fuck out of here." And yeah, I don't know what it is. People just are drawn to me. So I don't remember anything after Bronx Ale House. I remember getting to the house at your house at like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Well, you remember the car ride back where we just we tricked this poor Uber driver into driving
Dominican guy. It was a Dominican guy. He was like, "Oh, ¿cuántos son?" I got in the front seat. Oh, yeah, like, tres. Niggas, first Pucho, then Jesus, then Mateo, and then Doughboy fucking swan dives in the back. That nigga in the front seat was like, "Oh yeah," and that nigga turned back like, "Coño, no matre."
Doughy hit the swanton bomb in the back seat and then close the door. We're like, drive, motherfucker, let's get the fuck out.
Yo,
The guy was like, oh.
Yo, we murdered his suspension. By the way,
Poor man.
We gave him a tip though.
No, man, we tipped him, but it was wild because that dude was shocked. He was like, "Tres persona." I lied. Yeah, three.
I just think our vibes, our energy was so high from the bops that he just rode with it. He's like, all right, these guys are just having fun. Like,
Yeah, we didn't fuck up none of his furniture or anything, or think of furniture, his seats or
who
anything.
knows? The days later, he may have had experienced something.
That nigga hot.
Just driving down the street, his tire explodes and he spins
Fucking
out.
Tony. When Tony sat in my fucking car. Fucking popped my tire. Could you imagine that shit?
Goddamn
Tony popped
husk,
his
dude.
tire days later.
That
Oh,
shit
just
is
like that
hilarious.
couch.
No, not like the fucking couch. So we get back to his crib, 4:30, maybe 5. We all just pass out. Even Jesus
Straight
passed
up.
out.
After the chimneys, after Pucho fell asleep.
Oh yeah. We got chimneys that night. Damn, see, that's crazy.
Yeah, we did not go home and pass out. Then
No,
we went and wandered around
We
more.
wandered,
drunk
got
self.
chimneys, brought that shit back, ate that shit, passed out, woke up at like 6:30, went to go get breakfast, and I immediately started drinking. I think at 6:30 in the morning. I think I grabbed a beer and just started drinking. I was tired or whatever. I didn't give a fuck, but it was vacation. Then I think we all left, went straight to what is that place where down the hatch was?
Down the hatch.
What-
Yeah, that was
Down the hatch.
West 4th Street. It's
Yeah.
by Washington Square Park.
Went to down the hatch because supposedly Doughboy said, "Yo, there's all you can drink pitchers. No, 4 big pitchers and all you can eat wings and fries for $20." We were all like
20. Yeah, it's like 23, something like that.
down. We went to down the hatch into this fucking basement corridor bullshit. Ordered whatever the beers that they had.
It was one of those situations where they also wanted to figure out how infinite were the wings. And it was another one.
We have to test the infinities.
Yeah, I fucking ate so much there. Like the wings were good too, though.
There was infinite wings,
And fries.
infinite waffle fries, and 3 big ass pitchers
I
of
think it was
beer. And I
4,
remember
wasn't
the
it?
beer was so cheap. It was like your choice
Rolling Rock?
of like Miller
Was the best
Lite,
one.
Michelob, and Rolling Rock. So we all got 3 pitchers of Rolling Rock.
Mm-hmm.
We were on our angry video game nerd shit hard.
Speaking of Tony's nonsense face, though, those trust fund babies that we ended up partying with.
Right. Who
Yo,
invited those people?
I did, I think.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't invite them. They were there. I don't know what
Well,
happened.
sure.
We-
I'm saying like we were just enjoying our beers, and then we got a bunch of trust fund baby people to fucking come up and try to chill with us.
I
talk with
remember
us,
this,
and-
right? I remember going to the bathroom. As I come back, I bump into somebody by accident. I was like, "Yo, my bad, bro." He's like, "Nah, you're good, bro." I'm like, "All right, man."
I remember that guy's prickish face.
Yeah, go back
that
to
was funny.
go back to my chair, started eating or whatever. Then he comes back, "Hey, man, what are you drinking?" or some shit. Oh, I'm drinking this Rolling Rock. A conversation started happening. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm with all these people," and there's a whole bunch of trust fund rich kids with their homegirls or girlfriends or whatever.
Yeah, they're in like khaki shorts and like polo shirts.
Yeah, niggas got bread. Their parents got bread. So we're chilling or whatever. Next thing you know, we all just started chilling and talking.
They
Whatever.
bought us an amount of shots, though. Like, not to talk too much shit about them, because they bought us several rounds of shots.
Yeah, shout outs to
Yeah.
their mother and father for those shots. Thank
And
you.
Yeah.
So
Those are NYU kids.
yeah,
Thank you, Daddy Big Bucks, for
Yeah, for
buying us
real.
those shots.
I remember the fact too, getting so drunk with them and like with all of us getting so drunk that this guy started talking about this one chick. Oh yeah, like that my ex-girlfriend, my buddy's fucking her, and she fucked him, and he just started showing me pictures of like them two fucking, and I was just like so weirded out by this. I'm like, but she's talking to this dude. Yeah, that's my buddy. They're together, but you know, I was like, oh, wow, okay. I don't like it was so weird. And then an altercation happened, some bullshit, I don't know, whatever. But the guy tells me, he was like, yo, after this, later on, I'll give you my number. We're gonna go on the boat and party on the boat if you guys are down to come. I was like, that's fucking lit. I ain't never been on no boat, yacht boat partying, let alone with these rich white people. So I tell Pucho, I'm like, yo, Pooch, these niggas are inviting us to go to the fucking boat or whatever. He's like, nigga, I don't like no fucking boat. I can't fuck that boat. I was like, damn, nigga, this is a party.
I've never been on a boat in my life.
See, that's how we end up on some island, though, and they're hunting us for sport.
Yeah.
Us four poor
Guys.
little guys end up over on an island. They're like,
Guys.
now run.
Yeah, run. Run, boy.
Got us
Like-
nice and drunk and fattened up, and they're like, "All right, guys."
But nah, so it was a vibe. Like I don't know what it was. It was just one of those things to where we were all chilling or whatever, and then the dude got mad at Doughboy for some obvious reasons. I don't know why. And then now the tensions just shifted.
Some obvious reasons that I don't know why.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Doughy was dancing with a girl or something,
was
and he got
blackout
caught
drunk.
about that.
I was blackout drunk once again, and I don't know what I was doing, but I guess I saw the green light, and I took the green light, and the light was not green.
Oh, and it was that dude's ex-girlfriend that his homeboys is fucking. That's right.
Yeah, that shit was weird because then he started saying like, "Yeah, you know, I don't really care about her. That's my ex-girlfriend, and my other friend's dating her now, but she's a good girl, man." And he kept saying how he didn't care at all about her, but then he was like still trying to like protect her because he had some prior relationship with her, and he wasn't digging digging the fact that she was like trying to chill with Doughy and shit.
See, I think I missed part of this too, because I went across the way to that other bar. I went to the Slaughtered Lamb for a little bit because I was like, these fucking trust fund babies are stressing me out. I don't like partying with these rich ass white kids. I'm gonna go have a drink at the bar across the way.
There's
And I think it was called
there
I
was
think it was called, like, the
nowhere
slaughtered-
to move.
Yeah,
the
that
Slaughtered
shit
Lamb
is-
or the Slaughtered Goat or something like that.
Yeah,
That
Slaughtered
place
Lamb.
That place is cool.
That shit was packed. So then now it became him getting tight at Doughboy. Mind you, it's me, Doughboy, and Georgie and Pucho. Georgie was with us.
And Jesus.
No, Jesus wasn't there.
Jesus, I don't think Jesus
wasn't there.
No, Seuss did not join
I
us.
wish
So yeah, that would have been crazy.
he had to work or something like that.
Yeah. And then
No, I remember I came back and like y'all were like, "Hey, we might have to hit these white dudes or something."
yeah, because once that nigga started talking shit about Doughboy, I was just like, fuck. And then Pucho was like, yo, my nigga, I'm about to duff this nigga. I was like, fuck, I'm stuck now. Like, yo, if this nigga duffs him, I'm gonna have to start duffing his mans because this nigga's they're deep. There's like 8 of these white boys with these girls, and I'm
I just came straight back into this like three whiskey shots in at that bar across the way. You guys are like, we might be fighting these men. I was like, well, fuck, I guess we're gonna fight
I
these
made a
men.
mistake with these shots.
yeah, it was bad because I'm like, yo, like if Pucho duffs this poor little white boy, that nigga might die. Yeah, that nigga was skinny. All these niggas were skinny dicks. I'm just like, fuck, yo, like this is a good vibe. I'm eating wings. I'm drinking. I'm not trying to fight him, but if Pucho duffs him, fuck it, we're duffing these niggas.
He was just talking crazy.
Yeah,
like if like, hey man, I know that's your friend, but I might have to catch him slipping type. And I'm like, oh, like I'm just sitting there. When I start hearing people make remarks like that, I get very like, oh, word. Like I get very agreeable, and I'll take a stance where no one's behind me. I'm just getting ready to just catch somebody off guard because I'm like, I'm not getting caught slipping. Like, if they start swinging, I want the advantage. That's all I'm thinking about. So I told Tony real quick. I'm like, yo, Tony, I'm about to duff this motherfucker. Like, and then I just kind of hit the cut, and I'm just like waiting to.
Yeah, it would have been real fucking bad in that small ass space because it's like a bedroom space place. It's like 30, 40 fucking people. So it's like the moment someone bumps into you, you're swinging at that person. Like you don't know who the fuck he is. Like it's gonna be a mosh pit of fucking people fighting. But
yeah, it's a basement bar, and it's like I don't know. It's like someone converted like a basement bedroom into a bar. The shit did not have any business being a bar or having. There's no way that bar was complying with like New York City like fire codes and shit. There was about 1 billion people in this place. A single exit, like no windows except for just some tiny little slits like at the top. Like it was very, very claustrophobic in there.
Yeah.
And then it's like a somewhat of a college area, so it's just a lot of people, and then a lot of people trying to take advantage of the deal. So it was just like you're shoulder to shoulder with people. Like this would be like a COVID super spreader if the shit was going down today.
Man.
It'd be a disaster.
Did we talk about the price on this deal? That it was like what,
20
$30, I think.
Yeah, it was like $27 or $23. Yeah, all you could eat wings, all you could eat waffle fries. 3 big ass pitchers of beer. They give you 3 tickets actually, and you turn in your ticket, and they give you a pitcher of beer. I remember someone else gave us a ticket because I remember by the end we all had 3 pitchers of beer each, and then we had pitchers on pitchers on pitchers sitting on the table that we were still drinking from.
By the end of that, we were all drinking just straight out of pitchers.
Pitchers. Yeah, bro. I remember at one time I ordered wings and fries. Sit down, eat 1, 2, go back, order wings and fries again. Sit down, eat 1, 2, go back and order another wing. Bro, I had like 4 or 5 baskets. I don't know why I did that because I thought that we were going to be like it was going to run out or the line was too long. But I remember having like 4 or 5 baskets.
Bucho changed my life that day because he gave me so much shit about my wing eating method and how much meat I was leaving on those bones.
Yeah, they do that to everybody.
You can't leave meat on the bones, man.
Like, yeah, to this day, them boys be just looking at my wings like, oh, nigga, look how you eat this wings. Man, fuck out of here. I pay for these shits.
Doughy used to leave endless meat on his chicken wings.
Yeah, they
Tony, Michael. I'm like, I used to be by myself like, wow, I must look like a fucking poor, hungry bastard because I'm fucking... There's no meat on this bone, and then I'm chewing the bone. The major twitch though is that like I would get 10 wings and be completely full and adequate. Doughy and Tony would buy 20 wings and they would eat their wings, like leaving a bunch of meat on there. And I'm like, yo, if you just ate all the meat, you could just pay for less wings. Like,
It was
you
unlimited.
shamed me into eating wings the proper way.
the proper way.
Yeah.
That's not the
Take that
proper
dub.
way. Like sucking cartilage and all the meat bone juice out. And then chewing on it. That can't be the proper way eating wings, bro. I'm leaving no meat. I think is proper, right?
That's what I mean. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Leaving no meat on the bone.
But everybody's raised differently, so I mean, whatever. And then I think also that might have been the first time I met Zeus. No, I met Zeus prior.
No, you're forgetting the best part of the story. Is when
part.
Georgie got tired of being at the bar.
Oh man, poor Georgie was so sleepy.
He was so sleepy.
He was so
dude.
sleepy that he secretly told Doughy. He secretly told Doe. He's like, yo, Doe, I'm very tired. I want to go home. So then when
We walked out of the bar.
relayed the
Yeah.
news, at this point we were standing outside.
I had
Oh
just gone
my
to that.
God.
I had just gone to that vape shop. I think I bought a vape or something because
Oh
the cigarettes were
shit!
expensive or something. I bought a little nicotine vape.
I remember that too.
We left the
And
bar.
there were people, the same white guys that were talking shit, ready to fight, were now super friendly outside, and they were racing. They were running. I don't.
It was
I
weird.
don't remember why.
Somebody busted their ass in front of us or something like that.
I don't know what happened. Something happened, but we left. It was like 3 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, and we're all drunk. And the sun is just beaming on us. We're like, oh shit.
Dude, I thought it was like 10 o'clock at night when we got out of there, but you were absolutely right. It was
Like
just the middle.
4:30.
It was just
No.
the afternoon.
It was the afternoon. It was like 4 p.m.
On 1 hour and a half.
We
of
must
sleep.
have been shit faced before noon on
Oh,
that
yeah.
particular day.
we were done. And then that's when Doughboy was like, yo, my cousin's really tired and wants to go home. And meanwhile, he's right next to him, sitting on the stairwell of a house. And he's looking at Doughboy, and Pucho's looking at him. And I'm looking at only at Doughboy. And I'm like, wait, he's tired? And I look to my left, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I never said that shit.
He
I'm
was
like,
like,
what? And then Doughboy's like, well, I'm tired and I want to go home. All right, nigga, go the fuck home. We're like, I'm definitely not going home, nigga. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm drunk, 1 hour of sleep. Nigga, I'm trying to get drunk. I'm trying to continue on. So Doughboy leaves us like a bitch.
Falls asleep on the train.
Yeah, he fell asleep on the train on the last stop. That nigga had to figure it out. Fucking blacked out drunk. And then what did we end up going, Pucho? After we go to the smoke shop for Mateo.
We were in.
Apparently, we went to a gay bar. We went to because we were in the village. We were real close to the village.
Yeah, we ended up going into that red gay bar. I think it was red, right? The whole room was like red or some shit.
Yeah,
That sounds right. That bar was cool though, man.
I like that.
Yeah, it
I
was
think
fine.
you guys went into the big fat pussycat bar.
That sounds right.
I just remember there was
The bouncer was cool.
the fucking Puerto Rican dude, and we was just chilling and talking with the bouncer and having drinks. And the bouncer was looking at us. That dude was pretty homophobic for working in a gay bar. I remember he was like, "Yeah, I don't like hanging out here. There's too many gay people." And I was like,
You're in the
and then
fucking
I think
village,
it
bro.
wasn't even until I didn't even think it was until that moment that I even noticed that we were in a gay bar.
Yeah,
I was
same.
like, too many gay people. And I was like, I guess we're in the village. And then I look around and I'm like, we're in a gay bar. I guess this guy doesn't like gay people. He just works here. But I was like, I don't care. You know, I'm just having my drinks. We're chilling. Like,
We were having a good time. We were having some good conversation with some people inside. We were.
That I didn't bring along, mind you. We just sat at the bar and we were just talking.
yeah.
And
Yeah, that's the second time we went to a gay bar. I went to a gay bar with Tony. I remember we went to a gay bar in the Bahamas. No,
the Ballad of Gay Tony.
No, it was in Florida. What's the Keys? We were in the
It
Keys.
was Key West. Yeah, when we went
Key
to on
West.
a cruise.
When it was in Key West, we went to a gay bar. It was the only bar open at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So we went to the bar, and there was the gay bartender was super cool. He
Dude,
was just telling
nice.
us how happy he was that, like, you know, that we weren't gay, but that we were like coming into the bar, and you know, he was just happy that we were there. He made us drinks. He made us like this.
Pink.
He
ass
mixed
drink.
7 different types of Parrot Bay. He said, "Yo, the best." He's like my favorite drink. Right? That's a drink, right? Parrot
Yeah.
Bay,
Pear Bay.
Yeah.
right? that it has like 7 different flavors. There's like a coconut, a fruit punch, a pineapple. And he said if you mix all 7 of them, that he gave us the drink. The motherfucker charged us like $11 for that drink. The shit was pricey, but it was pure alcohol. Like it was a giant cup of alcohol.
No
Like those Long Islands that you get down here on 6th Street. There's a few places that it's like $2 Long Islands. That's fight milk right there. Like that, you're gonna get blackout drunk. You might fight someone when you're drinking those down here in Austin.
Facts.
Yeah, but the guy gave us this drink. It was just shit tasted like fruit punch. It was just pure alcohol. I guess all those different flavors, it just made like a punch. It was yummy. And that shit was good. And we had a couple drinks with the guy at the bar. I can't remember what it's called. But he had we knew it was a gay bar walking into. They had a whole bunch of pride flags. I remember that was the first time I went to a gay bar that I remember like, all right, like fuck it. It's the only bar open. Let's see what's in store for us here. Because
we was the only ones there.
I didn't know what to expect, and it turned out that it was just a bar. It was a pretty normal place.
They had like dollar bills hanging.
No, it wasn't eventful whatsoever. So
they had dollar bills hanging everywhere in that place. Pooch, remember there was a dollar bill everywhere hanging in that bitch. It was dope too because we walked in there and we're the only 4 people on the whole island drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was just like, well, this is fucking vacation. Like, I don't give a fuck. But
yeah, the guy said he liked to party, sunrise to sunset. So he was just like, yeah, that's why I opened my bar early because there's some people like you. So he was just happy for us to be there. So,
yeah, it validated everything that he stands by. It's like, yeah, this is why.
So yeah, we had a bunch of drinks with him. Then a couple other people went in, and then we took off. But
Tony's face didn't get you in trouble that time. His nonsense face.
On that trip, there was quite a bit of nonsense invitations. In fact, but it was I would say 99% positive. The only negative experience that I could remember is the bald girl that was on that trip where yeah he made me uncomfortable.
That's a simple question in life.
It is a simple question. It just made me very uncomfortable.
Whatever. We don't have to go back in the past.
But yeah.
No, but there's sometimes I look for that shit. I'll look.
I know. You like to deny it. You like to act like you don't look for it.
Not all the time. Sometimes. Not all the time.
I know you walk into the bar and you be scoping around and you'll find the guy wearing like the Eagles jersey or something. And
then I maximize my nonsense.
So he'll buy a drink and then we'll be there. And then he's like, all right, what's a sentence that I could say at the loud enough volume that I could invite this Eagles guy to say something? Like I know, like Tony has to be making these calculations because there's no way that just this amount of people would just come up to us and just start either talking shit or wanting to hang out with us. Like it's literally the
not all the times like that though. Not all the time. Like there's been multiple times where they just come up to me. I don't know what it is. And it's both sex, male and female, that just come up to me and just start a conversation. Like, and I'll invite it. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not a dickhead. I don't, it just goes on. But going back to Doughboy leaving us, we end up going back to his house. He wasn't answering the fucking door. We have a bottle in our hand, trying to continue on drinking. Jesus is meeting up with us now at this point. And this dickhead's passed out in his house. We're ringing the fucking doorbell. Constantly. It took us like 20 minutes to get this nigga to answer.
It took a while. I think I went down and had a smoke and came back up and he still hadn't answered the door.
Ridiculous. Finally answered.
I was so mad. I was like, oh my God.
You were pissed.
I was like, yo, we might have to find somewhere else to sleep tonight. This motherfucker's not opening the door.
I think you were Googling hotel rooms or some shit.
The worst is he answered the phone a few times. He's like, huh? I'm like, open the fucking door. We're outside. All right. And then he'd hang up. I'm like, all right, he's opening the door. And I got my ear to the door. I'm like, I don't hear anything. I'm like, this piece of shit. He went back to sleep. And I'm fucking blowing up his phone again. And
it was bad. Then we finally get up there. We're all fucking tight. And we all forget that now we're hungry. So it's like, fuck. And his little steps, bro, that shit will make your calves work out, bro.
Oh my God.
It's like a sixth
So we
floor.
lived on the 6th floor of no elevator in this building. You got to run up 6 stories of stairs to get up there. Yeah. funny shit in New York. That violates like some kind of building, like some kind of like building code where, like, I think once you have like once you're past 5-story buildings, you're obligated as a landlord to put in the elevator in this building.
But
and the way they got around this or the way they try to sneak by it in Doughboy's building is that instead of, usually in New York, if you live on the 4th floor, all the apartment numbers on that floor would be 4 followed by like a letter. So 4A, 4B, 4C. I mean, it pretty much is a standard like everywhere. In his building, instead of numbering the floors, they lettered the floors. So it was floor A, floor B, floor C, and there was only 5 apartments on each floor. So it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5B. So that if anyone ever looked at the mail, it would look like there were only 5 stories in the building. Because the numbers only went to 5, and it looked like there were like 6 like apartments on each floor for like A through F, I guess.
I didn't realize that. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so I lived on the 6th floor, but I was 5F. It didn't make sense. Yeah, it didn't make sense at all.
That's standard New York landlord trying to gyp its tenants from every fucking dollar that they can.
That building wasn't built with the elevator in mind, so I feel like in order to put an elevator there would have to be no staircase for several weeks. On top of there being no staircase, is like, how are you supposed to get downstairs and do shit? So I don't think there was any way to really put a elevator there, unless I guess they took out an entire row of apartments.
You know what I don't
Put it
understand?
there.
It's like, how do you move? The stairwell was so small, nigga. You had couches and beds, and how the fuck do you move up and down these stairs? Like, that shit's gotta be for dicks.
Yeah, it sucked. I started out with nothing though, so all those things got moved there one piece by one piece. Like even when Mateo just had gotten there, I just got a new couch, and I was waiting for the legs to come.
Which
Yeah,
couch?
you just got in the couch, and you just got in your cat.
The green couch, yeah, and my cat, yeah. Oh
Was
wow.
that couch was it the couch with the pull-out bed, or was it the couch
No,
Mateo slept on?
the couch that Mateo slept on.
That I couldn't sleep on.
No.
Doughboy said,
could've
nope, I
broken
can't
it.
sleep on that.
So yeah.
So did we cover how we all met each other?
Yeah,
There's a story,
sure.
but I don't know if Pucho wants me to tell it.
Wow.
It's kind of insensitive.
No, I do not. No.
Say it, bitch.
All right. Okay. So we didn't cover one aspect, right? Me and Doughboy, right? Me and Doughboy met in 8th grade, even though we went to the same junior high school at that point it was 3 years together. I had never met Doughboy. And we met each other in language arts class, Miss Zivanov's class. And I don't know. I remember coming into the class, I saw a kid with curly hair. I was like, that kid looks Dominican. And we started talking. I was like, he is Dominican. Boom. Because in the hood, that's how the shit works. Everybody tries to find how you're going to click up with who. Because like you got to roll around in packs. Like that's
prison.
just, everybody tries to find the group that they're going to roll around with. Even from period to period, you got, even like Doughboy was my language arts friend at that point. Like I did not see Doughy at all in school. I only fucked with Dough in that class because that's the only place I saw Dough.
Yeah, we were never on the same team. They split the grades up into teams. So if you were in 7th grade, you had like 4 different 7th grade teams. And then that's how lunches, you would go to group with like 2 different teams. So me and Pucho never even saw each other. Although I do remember being not athletic enough to play that strike ball shit. They would put me up against the wall. And after I got spiked a few times with the ball, like, nah, I'm not athletic enough for this. It's not for me. I was such an easy target too. I was so big. I was so fat.
So in this class, right, there was a book called Night by a Jewish guy, Elie Wiesel. He's a survivor of the Holocaust, right?
Shout out to him.
Shout out Elie Wiesel. It's a great book. It's very depressing. And it's just about how this kid, who's only like 12, he survives the Holocaust, right? So we got to read this book. And it's a good book, right? We enjoy it. We go to class. We got to discuss it. All
we read the whole book at that point, right? Like we were already done with the book.
Yeah.
And then our teacher, Miss Zivanoff, was like, okay, now we're gonna watch the movie.
Yeah, it wasn't a movie it wasn't a movie of the book. It was a movie about the book. So it was just a bunch of
Documentary
interviews.
stuff.
It was a documentary. A bunch of interviews, just of Holocaust survivors, a lot of old people, and all that shit, right?
It reminds me of like a South Park episode because we were just very young and like very innocent. So like even though we liked the story and it was interesting, bro, it was almost the end of the semester and we're still on this shit. And this shit is just draining us at this point.
So we are watching this movie, and it'd be just like you're just listening to somebody go on and on and on and on, just very long. It was a very deadpan, so it was very boring. And we're just like, oh my God, we can't wait for this shit to be over.
Multiple classes went by, right? Like we didn't do this in one sitting. We were watching this movie for like 3 or 4 classes.
Yeah, it was the end of the year where your teachers are just putting on movies to get you to the end. It's like, FCAT's over. We're fucking done teaching y'all motherfuckers. Good luck in the next grade. We're just putting movies to the end of the year type of shit. There's a lot of teachers used to do this. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting in this room, we're watching this movie, and it's going on, and we're just like trying to whisper, like trying to talk and just enjoy our day type of shit. And then the screen would go black and they would roll like credits to like end the movie, and we're all like, thank God this shit is over. And then it would come back, and then more talking. The documentary would continue. So we're like, what the fuck? And then it would just go on, and then again the screen will go black and it'll roll credits, and we're like, oh, thank God it's over. And it would come back. So then we started laughing hysterically because the shit would never end. It was like credit roll, psych, more Holocaust.
Yo, by the 3rd or 4th time, we got the entire class in on it, and everybody was like, ah! Oh, when they saw when it like faded to black, we all got excited. Like, is this it? Is this the end? And then another interview would come on, and everybody would be like, ah!
So fucking, and it was so fucking hilarious, yo. The shit was so, I mean, this was us. We were 12, 13 years old, 20 years later, I still chuckle and laugh just thinking about the shit. But to our teacher, she was looking at us like we were a bunch of piece of shit animals, just laughing, insensitively laughing at the Holocaust. This was not what we were doing at all. But this whole thing is stuck with me. I remember thinking like, damn, like that might have been like super shitty of us, like in retrospect. In my defense, the movie was long and it ended 17 times. It went on forever. Again, shout out to Elie Wiesel. That book was good.
Yeah. Guy went through a lot, and shout out to his dad.
So is
his
this
dad, I remember in the book, like really giving him the only reason to live. Like,
so is this
his dad held it down for a while? It's just sad as fuck, yo.
Very sad. He died on one of the death marches. I still remember a lot about that book. They took him on a death march, and his dad didn't make it through the death march through the snow without proper clothing,
without shoes. They were running barefoot during the winter. They're trying to run away from the Russians. The Germans were forcing them to run from the Russians. He was in Auschwitz, which is like I think considered like the worst or one of like the 2 worst. Like it was like a death camp. It was like where you go where like they were being tortured, all types of shit. So that shit is super fucked up. But yeah, we didn't find that funny. We found the interviews funny.
I gotcha.
Yeah, no. And again, I don't care.
We're not gonna get canceled on this episode.
No. It was and I don't know. Doughy brought it up, and I was like, I don't know, man. That shit is insensitive. But I'm like, fuck it. It happened. I was a kid. I don't give a fuck.
All kids are assholes, man.
Yeah.
So fucking after the insensitive cancel part there, have you guys watched Watchmen at all? Like I'm 6 episodes in.
Are you asking us who watches the Watchmen?
Well, yeah, watches the Watchmen.
That's a quote from the comic book. Who watches the Watchmen?
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got me talking about it, but I'm saying, like, I'm only 6 episodes in. Like, you guys finished it already?
I watched it when it first came out. Like I was watching that shit every week whenever those episodes dropped. That's one of my favorite like HBO series that they've done so far.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say I'm a pretty big fan of the Watchmen, the the original comic book, and I liked the movie that came out it was like 12 years ago at this point.
Mhm.
It dropped in like 2009. Really good fucking movie. Yeah, when the show came out, I was excited about it, and I watched the first 2 episodes as it was coming out. And I don't know what the fuck happened. I fell off. I didn't watch it. And then last week we were talking, and the Watchmen came up, and I don't know. And I was like, fuck it. I basically started from scratch. I watched all 9 episodes, like Friday and Saturday, pretty much. And the show's fucking incredible.
Yeah, the first 2
I'm
episodes.
with Mateo is it's in my top HBO shows.
Big
Um,
facts.
The first 2 episodes were fucking weird for me. I didn't know what the hell I was watching. Like, it was just like what the fuck is going on? And then
Had you seen the movie prior to watching this show?
yeah, I've seen the movie.
Okay.
Watchmen. Yeah, I've seen
Okay.
it. That's
But
what I thought
so
it was.
long ago. All I remember was a big blue cock. That's all I remember about the movie. Mad blue dick
So-
everywhere.
Fuck.
We continued Doughboy's obsession with dicks and cocks, and
Mhm.
the only thing that stuck with him out of it was like a 3-hour movie. It was a pretty hefty movie. The only thing he remembers is Dr. Manhattan's.
Stepping on top of his creation, dick on hard.
Mhm. He just progressively his dick was definitely not hard. He just progressively loses clothing though. Is that good? The comic as the movie goes on.
I have to watch that movie again because I totally when I saw.
I have to. Yeah, definitely. Because even after watching this, this has to be.
Is it
I
after
really,
the Watchmen
really
movie?
enjoyed this.
So the show itself, like it brought like there are so many people that had no idea that the bombing of Black Wall Street, like the Tulsa incident, like there's so many people that didn't even know that was a thing. Like this speaks to like our American education system and our teaching of our own history, that so many people had no idea that shit had happened. I remember like seeing on some Google trends or some Google search trends at that time where they're like, did Tulsa really get bombed because people they thought it was just made up for the show. It's like, no, this is how shitty we actually are to each other.
Yeah, it's super fucked up because like the way that the way a lot of that shit plays out is just through so this is post-slavery, in between slavery and my black African Americans getting civil rights.
Real quick, Pucho, real quick.
They're segregated.
The movie
What's that?
Watchmen. The movie Watchmen. Is it before or after the show? Like when is it?
The
is
show
after?
show's after the movie.
Okay.
It's like 30 years
All
later.
right, sorry, go ahead.
And the movie is a little bit different.
Yeah, it is.
because in the movie it's not a squid that he's summoning, because that's the pure comic book stuff. In the movie, it's a bomb or something, right?
Yeah, so I'll spoil the movie. Basically the plot of the movie is Rorschach is trying to figure out why these people are getting murdered.
Yeah.
So there's a guy who gets murdered, and when he looks into who this person is, he discovers that it's one of his old colleagues, the comedian. And all their identities are hidden, a lot of them even hidden from themselves, from each other. So like, even though they work together and all that type of shit, Rorschach didn't know that this guy Blake was the comedian. So when he discovers that, oh shit, one of our old buddies, the comedian, got murdered, he starts looking into this. And I think the comedian gets murdered. Night Owl, I think, gets murdered.
The original Night Owl gets murdered.
And there's somebody else. Somebody else gets murdered. And in trying to uncover what's going on, he basically finds out that it's Ozymandias.
There's an assassination attempt on Ozymandias.
Right. So someone tries to kill Ozymandias as well. And in basically trying to figure out this whole plot, Rorschach discovers Ozymandias is the guy who's behind all of this shit.
Also,
he goes to try to stop him and he fails. What's up, Matthew?
Also, Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing the comedian in that show, that was fucking phenomenal. He does such a good job playing just this total piece of shit character with just these this apathy to the world that nothing actually matters. This nihilist joker, basically.
Yeah, I gotta watch the movie because I don't remember that shit.
I gotta watch it again. I do not remember it as well.
Yeah, so then basically Ozymandias, the plot is basically Ozymandias kills off a bunch of heroes, and then he also fabricates a story about how Dr. Manhattan is giving people cancer. So then Dr. Manhattan goes to Mars. He exiles himself. He goes to Mars to he don't want to get people sick type of shit. And then he starts to create like these like nuclear bombs or something like that, and he blows up these like nuclear bombs in like a number of cities throughout the world. And the way that it explodes and the radioactive signature, it matches the same type of radioactivity that Dr. Manhattan has. So then what he's basically trying to tell the world is, yo, Dr. Manhattan is no longer like cool with us. He's attacking us now. And the whole goal of this is, in their world, the Cold War continued. It didn't just end. And it got even crazier when now like basically everybody's hands was on the button ready to go. And basically he created an other enemy in the hopes that United States and Russia would like form a coalition to fight Dr. Manhattan. And then that's basically what happens, is that the whole world sort of creates like a world government. They pull their resources together and they stop fighting each other. And all they do is they prepare to fight Dr. Manhattan.
Where the comic differs, because this show is set after the comic rather than the movie. Yeah. Is in the comic he summons a big extra dimensional being. But it's a squid monster that he had created, and he summons it into New York. There's a big psionic blast that happens from that.
It kills like 3 million people.
Yeah, and it has the same effect though. It unites the world against a common enemy, because in their mind it's like, oh, there's some kind of extraterrestrial threat that's attacking us. That's why there's the rain of squids and all that.
Yeah, that shit threw me off
in the show.
I was like, what the fuck is this squid rain? I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like that shit. Yeah. And then
so I think at this point you might know who Ozymandias is, but I think they might tell you like a pretty strong hint at all if you know the characters. If not, I think they tell you more specifically in like episode 7. But regardless, that's pretty much the plot of the movie. That's like pretty much the plot of what happens prior to this TV show. Right. And then the show takes place 30 years later in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And basically, one hint is at the end of the movie, basically Rorschach gets Dr. Manhattan to go and kill Ozymandias to like stop his plan. Ozymandias is like, yo, my plan is already in motion. It's happening right now. And then Dr. Manhattan's like, all right, basically his view is like, well, if it's already happening, that means people are already dying. We can't stop it. Well, this is going to bring the world together, it works.
Yeah, he looked at the outcome and he was like, well, you're technically right. This is actually saving the world in a way.
Mm-hmm. So then he doesn't kill Ozymandias. And then Rorschach's like, all right, well, if like the world at peace, this isn't worth he's sort of like an absolutist in the sense where he's like, he's not willing to kill one person to save like 1 billion people. He still views the act of killing that person as wrong, and so he wouldn't do it. So then basically he's like, I'm gonna tell the whole world the secret, and it's gonna fuck up your plan. And he basically forces Dr. Manhattan to kill him. So Dr. Manhattan kills Rorschach. And
Curious.
then his journal gets sent, because I think he set this up where basically like
he sent it off before they went to Antarctica. Like he left it with this right wing conservative news outlet. Like he had dropped it at their door or mailed it to them or something.
Really? That makes sense.
And that's where the 7th Cavalry comes from, is these people that read Rorschach's thing, because in the show I think they cover that his journal, like because it was such a far right fringe group that he left this journal to. Most people didn't believe it because it was coming from these crazy people that were, racist and bigoted, and it was like it would be like if you left it with what is that one, Storm something, those crazy Nazi news organizations
or whatever. Yeah, he basically left the journal with the equivalent of like Alex Jones. So then people are like, oh, Alex Jones says like Sandy Hook is a hoax, and UFOs were present, and they're turning the frogs gay, and
lizard people.
The lizard people, and this extra dimensional squid is actually not an extra dimensional squid. It was planted by Ozymandias. So then it's like, all right, in the midst of all that, it's like, what do you really believe? Like, so a lot of people don't believe it, but then you get like these far right racist dudes that do follow this guy into believing this story. And then that's basically how you get the 7th Cavalry, which is this right-wing group of people that are all gun-ho about like the truth of the world, which
That's
is
crazy,
what was in Rorschach's journal.
It makes sense where all their masks come from. It's like, yo, that's the same mask, but the one that Watchmen, the movie, it was all moving and shit. I was like,
it would move.
Yeah, like that's why I was like, damn, I thought he was a good guy. Like, who are these racist dicks? But I guess now it puts it in perspective.
Rorschach was even complicated in the comics. Like his rants were a lot of like anti-liberalism and talking about like he had some issues with women and minorities and things of that nature that were expressed in some of his inner monologues in the comic, and I think they did it a little bit in the movie too.
Yeah. He's basically a sexist and a racist. Not like I'm gonna kill a black man on sight, but like, oh, if that happens to that black dude, like he doesn't care, kind of thing. Yeah. Like he views them as lesser, women and minorities.
That's a beast.
The guy's a piece of shit. He's supposed to be a complicated character because he's basically your hero of the comic book. So to speak. Like he's the guy who's trying to uncover all this stuff.
No, the real hero of the comic book is Night Owl, the new Night Owl, who overcomes his ED and he's able to have sex in the Nightwing or whatever the the owl copter or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, he smashed the shit out of that. Not a little hover bullshit.
That thing looks so cool to me. I like the design of that.
That's one of the goofiest parts of the movie is when he like has sex with Silk Spectre, the new Silk Spectre, and like as he's about to like climax, they accidentally hit the flame thing in the little like
shoots the
whatever.
flame.
And there's a flame that shoots out. I was like, come on, man. we got it beforehand. You didn't need to have the flames shoot it out.
Yeah, I know this. I know this sounds bad, but something that really drew me to the show was the fact that they were fighting against racists and like intolerant people, and that like I felt like that was such a good arc in the entire story that I love the fact that I'm watching a lot more shows and it's just black people, African Americans taking the main roles and the secondary main roles and the third main roles, and it's just cool to see that especially HBO taking a chance on these things, because I even recently heard about the Zack Snyder cut. I heard that there was a part with the Green Lantern in there, the new Black Green Lantern, that got cut, but for some reason. But I'm just glad that all these shows that I'm watching, Snowpiercer, Watchmen, they all have like a strong cast of like diverse cultures. Even the Marvel WandaVision agent, the FBI agent, one of my favorite characters, just because I loved him.
Was he your favorite?
Jimmy Woo guy?
Yeah, my
favorite. Asian Jim.
Asian Jim. Do
Dude.
you know he forgot that he recorded that scene in The Office?
Yep. Yeah, because he said he was in and out in like an hour. He was like, I totally blanked that I had recorded that.
So
Oh, man.
several
That's a
years
good one.
later, he had people yelling it to him on the street. Yo, he thought it was some sort of slur. And he was like cursing back at people when they yelled it at him. They're like, Asian Jim, Asian Jim. And he looked at them. It's like, fuck you.
That's how small that part was. That he fucking.
I mean, it's like a 1 minute scene, and he wasn't on the show at all. So you could imagine he came in as an extra, probably kind of an unknown actor, recorded a scene, and then just dipped.
Asian Jim.
Isn't he the
Dude,
Maybe I'm tripping.
Gwyneth Paltrow forgot that she was in a Spider-Man movie.
No way.
Yeah. 100%. Like there was one, it happened on one of the panels where they were asking her about a Spider-Man movie. She's like, I've never been in a Spider-Man movie. And I think
And they all
what's
looked
his
at her
name?
shocked.
Tom Holland was like, yeah, you were in this one.
Who is she in Spider-Man? I can't even remember.
Penny Potts.
Oh, that's
Pepper Potts.
right.
Pepper Potts, not-
Pepper
yeah.
Potts. Yeah, she does show up in the
Which movie? With Toby?
Yeah, the
No,
end
no,
of
no.
Homecoming.
the the first Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland.
So
At the end, basically, Tony Stark takes him to go, and he's like, "Yo, you're ready for the big leagues." Basically, inviting Spider-Man into the Avengers. And Pepper Potts is at the news conference, like kind of talking before Spider-Man comes out, and then he basically is like, "Nah, I'm not joining the Avengers," and he dips. So it was just a small scene, but yeah.
wasn't Gwyneth Paltrow married to the Maroon 5 singer?
No, she was married to the Coldplay singer, obviously, Doughy.
Oh, Coldplay. Okay, I got a funny story. My brother worked at a building downtown. He was a concierge or maybe even a porter. Not too sure. But at some point, the guy from Coldplay came down and was like, yo, I need you to help me install a TV on the wall. So my brother was like, all right, I'll make a few bucks. And my brother was like, yo, he tried to have me hold a 65-inch TV to the wall by myself. He's like, when he realized that his TV was about to fall on the ground, he finally helped Michael. And like, he was so pissed off that he had to do like the legwork as well. My brother said that she was super nice, but he was kind of a dick. But that's the way he usually is.
That's the reverse of what I would think. I would think that Gwyneth Paltrow would be the dick and Chris Martin would be like the somewhat nice. He's friends with Simon Pegg. You got to be a good guy if you're friends with Simon Pegg.
Yeah, apparently my brother was like, yeah, that guy was so pissed off that I almost dropped his TV.
Holding a 65-inch by yourself, like who the fuck? Like
Exactly. My brother was like, I don't know why he thought I could hold this TV by myself.
he just looks so strong. Oh man, what a tangent.
No, dude. The race relations, like the whole exploration of that in the Watchmen, fucking phenomenal. So good.
Yeah, I what I thought was super cool, as shitty as it was, is basically all the survivors or of the ancestors of the the ancestors of the people that survived the Tulsa race riots and shit, they got reparations pretty much. They got some kind of money back. They called them Redfordations.
That's a bad term to use. That kid Topher, he'll come and punch you in the face if you use that.
Don't fuck with
that
Topher,
man said
fuck you up.
that man just flung right across that classroom and was just like,
Yeah, I wasn't.
He was just a blur, dude. I didn't even see him run up on that man. I just saw the table flip over.
that dude was out.
Yeah, I wonder why that was so an offensive term or whatever. But
No, because think about it. The kid asked her, like, "Oh, you built a bakery? Did you get the money with Redfordations?" Basically,
well,
they're like,
sure, that's offensive. I'm not saying, like, basically saying like you didn't work for any of this, you got it for free type of shit. Of course, that's offensive. I'm saying in the car ride home, Topher said he said Redfordation. So like, if that term in and of itself was like on par with saying like the N word or something like that, like, so yeah.
I mean, maybe it's like the Obamacare thing where like that became like the talking point.
Right. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the race relations was super. I thought it was very cool, and there's a lot of parallels that play out throughout the show of like kind of reoccurring things that happen in one generation and another generation. Like so Tony, you said you watched episode 6, right? One thing that I love, right, is basically Night, her grandfather was Hood of Justice, right?
Yes.
Right, okay. Because you make a confused face. I think I'm spoiling this shit for you.
No,
I love that arc as well, that he was a police officer. They warned him. They said, beware of the Cyclops. And then I thought that shit was amazing, that he was trying to do the honest work. He literally, legitimately got an honest lead. And they were like, okay. They basically, I guess he was a person that was supposed to be, maybe he was like one of the untouchables back in the day, like those people that were just able to fuck shit up. He caught that guy lighting up a Jewish something, a store, right?
Yeah. Did you see, Tony, how that whole arc ended? I'm not sure if they do the whole thing on a single episode, so I don't want to.
That's right.
Like, did they ever show Hood of Justice like going at the Cyclops? Like,
no, I don't think I've seen that.
all right,
It would have been a movie theater with a projector.
Oh,
He shoots a man in his head.
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah. So I mean, Tony, man, this fucking guy.
These fucking dogs are going fucking crazy.
So it wasn't so much that the guy was an untouchable, it's that they were recording those brainwashing movies in that guy's meatpacking place.
Mhm.
So it wasn't like this is, he wasn't some kind of like untouchable, like an important person because of the clout or the importance of that role. It was just they were using him to do something, so they were protecting him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I love the parallels where like I love that Night paints her eyes black when she's like donning her mask, and
like
her grandfather painted his eyes like white. I feel like that dichotomy is supposed to be interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, both they're parallels of each other. They're parallels of each other because, like, there's the face painting that you talked about. Both of their characters are based on movies that they loved as children.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if Tony actually knows that yet, but
they both became cops, and then they became vigilantes as part of that. Although hers is a little bit complicated because the cops
he was a cop too,
legal vigilantes or whatever.
What?
He was a cop, the grandfather,
bro. Yeah, you slept the whole episode then. Because
I didn't see that in the 6. Is that the ending of 6?
When they give you the flashback, it literally.
Oh, that might have been.
Sure it starts
I might have passed
with him
out there.
getting his badge, and the white man walks by him. The white man does not give him his badge. They have a special black police officer to give the black people their badges.
Yep.
So the white guy refused to shake his hand. The black guy gave him his badge and shook his hand, and told him right away, "Beware of the Cyclops." Like,
That's a rewind at the end then.
No, for sure.
Because I was in the bed, so I might have passed out.
Like you said, sorry, what were you saying, Tony?
I said I was in the bed, so I might have passed out on that. That's like earlier when I told you, like I watched episode 6, like that ending part, it's vague because I might have just fucking passed out and just thought I watched it.
Now, how cool are all the costumes in that damn show though? Because Sister Night, she's got that cool little like nun costume when she's already kicking ass. Looking Glass is probably my favorite character in the show, and his like little like head effect and that little pod that he uses for interrogating people. That shit is so damn cool.
That shit look cool. I like that silver mask. I was like, I always wondered how's he seeing out of it? Like I don't see, like, you know what I mean? And then there's that white guy.
The same material as like a two-way, like a one-way mirror.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where like basically you could see through the mirror from one direction, but the other way is just reflective.
And then that other guy's costume is so fucking cheap and put together. The dude with the red track jacket.
The
Red Scare.
Constantly eating a sandwich, so the rim of his shit is all nasty.
I was like, this guy, if ever was a character in this thing, that would be Ever. For some reason, I don't know why. The track jacket.
I mean, because he's a Russian.
Well, yeah, and he's a Russian.
He's he's the Red Scare of communism.
I love
Pirate Jenny looks badass.
Yeah, is she was she black? I couldn't tell. Like,
I think she might be Middle Eastern or something, but I'm not positive, honestly, dude. They never she's one of the ones that never show her face.
they
Like
don't
Panda,
develop her at all.
like Panda. They never really show his face.
That's Doughboy,
he's
by the
such a
way.
big part.
Doughboy
Yeah,
is
he's such a-
Panda in my books. If I had to put a character on somebody, Doughboy. Don't make that face, bitch. That's you, motherfucker. You're a Panda, 100%. Look how tight he is, like a tiger.
The person that everybody hates at the police precinct.
Yeah, nigga wants rules and regulations. Fuck out of here. Give us what we need. That's you. Look at you, tight. P for Panda. It's on your hat.
He's
nigga. You got
he's
it.
saying that you got that cop killed right at the beginning of the show. That's
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Anyways,
fact.
I like how they use looking glass to expose what the cavalry is. I like that. Like,
I like the effect on his mask when he's in the pod, where you see like the Rorschach like symbols on his mask with the
Yeah.
reflections. That shit
Yeah.
is so cool.
Yep. Looking Glass is such a good character. Did you see Looking
And that-
Glass's backstory, Tony?
And that actor is phenomenal. Like that dude from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah,
dude is so
he's a
good.
good
From
actor.
who?
I don't know what else he's in though.
From
I
Old
don't
Brother
think I've
what?
really seen him in other
He
things.
always pops up in weird little roles. He's always like got like these little background roles and things.
What movie you said? Old boy? What?
No.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
George Clooney and him.
Oh, I never seen that movie.
And John Turturro.
I never seen that movie.
Great movie. They showed it at school a few times. That's where I
I've
saw
never
it.
seen it. I don't
In
think.
school?
That one's real good. It's basically it's a Depression era retelling of the Odyssey.
Yeah, I might have to. You know what's crazy? I still didn't watch Old Boy yet.
Oh,
I
man.
haven't either because it's not on Netflix, so I have to figure out where to watch it.
I could watch it
Don't
on
give me
my.
that bullshit. I literally told you go into Google and put Old Boy Watch online. The first link, the whole movie's sitting right there.
I'll do that.
That's why you're the panda,
Yeah.
though.
That's why you're the panda.
He's fucking tight about that.
Yeah, he's
What do
most hurt that I co-signed.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
What do you guys think about Lady Trio? She was one of my favorite characters.
He's interesting, man.
Who's that one
She's
again?
Lady
I'm not
Trio.
good with the names.
Her name is True. She's
True.
They didn't develop her too much yet at where you are.
Oh, okay.
But it's the Asian lady that's building the clock. She said it's the first wonder of the new world.
Oh, she's a hero?
Mm,
It's not a hero.
She's
Who's
a
called
really
hero?
smart, very smart.
Oh.
Nobody's a true superhero except for Dr. Manhattan in this show. Everybody's just like kicks ass.
Is he gonna
basically.
pop up eventually again? Like, I mean, he was in the show, like in the TV screen in the show, but like,
You're asking if Dr. Manhattan makes an appearance in the show?
we're gonna have to spoil it for you if we're gonna discuss that. If you
all right,
we don't
let's
gotta
not,
discuss
let's
that.
not, let's not.
He
let's
makes an
not.
appearance. Yes,
All right,
he
all
shows
right,
up.
All right, let me I'll
That's a-
just finish it off today. I'll go grab lunch and finish it off today.
That shit is, I can't
I
wait.
mean,
There's so
I'm
much
I'm
good
down.
conversation.
I'm down with us spoiling it just so we can do this like a one and done Watchmen podcast. We're not
Fuck it,
splitting
spoil it. I
between
don't care,
two
fuck it.
episodes.
I'm gonna watch it regardless.
But I don't want to like. I don't know. It's up to y'all that haven't finished the show yet.
Wait, who? I'm the only one that hasn't finished it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we
just
can-
Tony.
So
We
then
can
go.
recap the
Kill it.
end on the next episode.
Nah,
if you
kill
want.
it.
We
Kill
could
it.
just
Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. I'm gonna watch it either way.
Okay.
Don't matter.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you the big secret. Cal is Dr. Manhattan.
What?
Yeah, he found out that he was because Manhattan is this crazy character that he experiences all of time at the same time.
Yeah.
He knew that he was destined to fall in love with what's her name? Angela?
Yeah,
Sister Night,
Angela.
Yeah. So he goes and he finds her at this bar in Vietnam, and he's like, we're gonna fall in love and we're gonna date for 10 years and we're gonna have the happiest relationship of our lives. He's like, and then I'm gonna die. And he basically like he tells the whole thing. She's like, yeah, whatever.
very
you're full of shit."
smooth. Yeah, very smoothly at a bar. He kind of like he does his thing.
And
I
she's
love the
like,
name of the episode too. It's called "A God Walks into a Bar"
mhm.
because her last name is
Her name is
A-Bar.
A-Bar. Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
And he shows up and he's wearing his suit and he's wearing a plastic mask of Dr. Manhattan's face, and it's during this festival to Dr. Manhattan. So he's in disguise as himself
That's funny.
at this festival. And she's like, whatever, you're full of shit, whatever. So anyway, they end up dating, and he reveals himself to actually be her, or to actually be him, to be Dr. Manhattan. But he starts doing the same thing from the movie, where he is losing touch with humanity because Dr. Manhattan exists everywhere and nowhere all at once. So it's tough for him to not be distracted. So I think he talks to Ozymandias, right? And Ozymandias makes gives him this ring that if he inserts it inside of himself, it will give him amnesia and suppress his powers, basically.
This is before he sends Ozymandias to the Europa, which is currently where you're seeing these babies come out of the water, and he puts them in a cooker and they become like a human. This is Europa.
It's Dr. Manhattan, basically in between this show and the Watchmen, he decided to go and make life. He wanted to go and make life on another planet.
I think it's a moon of Jupiter or some shit like that.
Yeah. So he gets this ring. He puts it in his head, and then they start over again. Him and Angela. Except now he is this man that was in this car accident, and he has amnesia, and they are fiancés, and they're going to get married. So he doesn't remember that he's Dr. Manhattan until I think she cuts it out of his head or something, right? Or doesn't she shoot him or something?
She bangs his face with a hammer and then just pulls it out.
Yeah, it's brutal, and it caught me off guard. I figured Dr. Manhattan was going to make an appearance in the show, but I was not prepared for it to be Cal.
I suspected it was Cal pretty
They
early.
allude to it a few times. Remember the White Knight, the guy standing over her with the shotgun? She kills one, but then there's another guy who's standing over her with the shotgun, and then it kind of just fades to black.
Yeah, it fades to black. You don't know what happened.
Yeah, you're like, what happened? Apparently, he at that moment remembered he was Dr. Manhattan, and a moment of critical, and he sent that guy to somewhere really far away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he saved
sends him to Gila Flats,
wasn't it the senator or somebody that the senator knew?
No, I think it's just some random 7th Cavalry dude.
It's just some random grunt. He basically calls the 7th Cavalry, and he's like, "Yo, I'm in Gila Flats," and they're like, "I just saw you 15 minutes ago." He's like, "Yeah, I just teleported here." And then that's when the 7th Cavalry suspects that Cal is Dr. Manhattan.
Yep.
So yeah.
That shit throws me off now, because I guess how the fuck?
The police chief was also a 7th Cavalry member.
I suspected that as soon as they killed him in that tree, hung him in the tree, I suspected that he was already a part of the fucking thing, and he was gonna. In that episode, that he was gonna meet up with one of those 7 Cavalry dudes, because he was like, yeah, I'll go with the police thing, and there's y'all stay here, I'm out. I'm like, oh, this nigga's a fucking scumbag. I already knew at that point that he's a fucking racist bitch in the show. He's trying to play both sides and shit. That's how I knew that was going down like that.
No, I do. This is my favorite version of Dr. Manhattan that I've seen so far.
Yes.
Because in the movie, he's kind of a dick. Dr. Manhattan's kind of a dick. He's just lost the ability to feel humanity. So I thought it was kind of cool in that regard. It is I like the way that they talk about eternalism. I don't know if you guys have looked into eternalism at all. It's this time philosophy, basically, that all time is happening at once. It's very much how Dr. Manhattan actually experiences time. And it gives me these Vonnegut vibes. Was that number 3?
A Vonnegut?
Kurt Vonnegut, the author. His one of his books is Slaughterhouse-Five, and it's about this guy that he becomes untethered in time, basically. So he starts experiencing different points of his life out of order because he's just untethered in time, and that's always how I don't know. That's how I thought about Dr. Manhattan. It's a weird way to be. I always liked in the movies when they were when he was telling his stories, it's January 4th, 1963, and I am at the carnival, and then the next one is he's experiencing 1980 something, and then it goes back to I love that, the way they always presented that.
That's like a mind fuck, dude. Could you imagine being him, being everywhere but nowhere at the same time? That shit is Fuck, dude, I would have blown
There's a
myself.
whole
guys-
thing. There's a
Have
whole
you
thing
guys
in this.
watched Go ahead. Sorry.
There's a whole thing in this show where he has a conversation simultaneously with Angela and also with her grandfather in like 20 decades apart.
That is beast.
That was so cool.
And it creates this whole paradox where the reason that he knows that Manhattan exists is because Angela told him through Manhattan that Manhattan exists 20 years prior or something like that. Like it's
Yeah. Basically, the way this happens is Dr. Manhattan meets Angela. He falls in love with her. But then I guess he discovers that she has a grandfather. And then because he's pretty much all knowing, he knows that Angela's going to need her grandfather in order to survive, pretty much. So then he goes to the grandfather and explains that he's Dr. Manhattan, that he has a granddaughter, and he explains this whole like thing to him to basically get him to buy into some plan. We never really see that plan in action. We see it in action. We don't know the specifics, the discussion that they had pertaining to that plan. But in the middle of that conversation, because he experiences all time in a single moment, right? He's always experiencing his whole life all the time. In one conversation he's having with Angela, he tells her, "Yeah, I'm talking to your dad right now," but he's talking to her dad or to her grandfather 20 years ago. And then Angela asks, "Can you ask him how he knows? How did he know that Judd was a 7th Cavalry? How did he know that Judd had a clan outfit in his closet?" And then when Dr. Manhattan asks the grandfather that question, that's when the grandfather learns that Judd is a 7th Cavalry and that Judd has the clan outfit in his closet. He didn't actually know until Dr. Manhattan asked him the question.
That's beast.
So the only reason that the grandfather came to the town and killed Judd is because Angela asked her grandfather why she killed Judd. So then he had the moment of, whoa, this is a chicken and the egg. Like, this is it kind of thing. This is a contradiction, which doesn't make any sense at all, to be honest. It's, again, part of the thing with time of how it doesn't really, like the paradox type of thing. But I don't know. That scene was very cool. Have you guys watched this movie Arrival?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. You guys should watch Arrival.
Arrival?
Yeah, it's basically some aliens come to Earth in these like giant pods, and there's like 14 of them or something, and they show up in 14 places around the world.
Is that the Natalie Portman one?
Nah.
That's what I was thinking about.
Female main character. You may be confusing her with Natalie Portman. I heard
Amy Adams.
it's Amy Adams.
Okay.
And she's a linguist. Like she studies like language and shit. And then she basically goes in and she tries to communicate with these aliens to try to figure out what is it that they want. But because there's 14 of these, or there's 7 of these things throughout the world, all these different nations are dealing with this in different ways. Like the Chinese are like ready to start attacking these things because they're like, we don't know what they want. But seemingly they're not violent. They just appeared. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's super fascinating movie that gets into how we experience time at some point in the movie. And I think getting confused about Arrival could maybe help you, because the movie's confusing. Like watching that movie and getting confused in the plot of it could maybe help you understand how Dr. Manhattan experiences time. It's a really cool movie. I really enjoyed it. It's a Denis Villeneuve movie. So the guy who made Blade Runner 2049, he made that movie Prisoners. He's making the Dune movie. So the same guy, he made Arrival.
That Dune does look pretty good.
I'm fucking hyped to watch Dune, yo.
When does it drop?
Dune, it's coming
sometime
out
this year, I think, right?
HBO Max. I really want to say it's in like summertime, but I don't remember. It's October 1st. Max, yo. It's coming straight to HBO Max, which is gonna be fucking nuts. That a movie's gonna just, who knows? Maybe they'll change the plan because there's no fucking pandemic anymore in October.
The pandemic's already over, dude. We're done with it here in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, Florida never even started a pandemic. We just been living our lives. So
And New York feels like it's on extra lockdown.
yeah.
Yeah, they still haven't moved the time back for the what time the bars close. But I'm gonna be honest, it looks like New York is gonna create cinema this summer up here. The way that people are acting, the way that people are behaving, like dudes, people they're just not in the right mind. They just need to make mistakes, it seems like. So it just seems like as soon as the heat comes out in New York, it's gonna just get turned up in all sorts of ways. But it looks fun.
No, I
They're gonna make
Yeah, I
definitely.
mean, I
cinema?
just saw. I think he means like it's gonna be like a movie, like how crazy it's gonna be. Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
And basically, in New York, the way shit goes is everybody just lives their lives. They're working and whatever. They're miserable because of cold, and then as soon as it's even warm enough to do anything outside, the blocks just get hot. Like everybody's out on the streets. Everybody's doing barbecues and playing music and popping the fucking fire hydrants to like play in the street, and it's just all the blocks are just filled with everybody. And you could only imagine that if the pandemic started at different timing, it could have been really bad where everybody was just hitting the streets because they don't give a fuck because it's too hot. New York is a very old place, right? Where everything was built like 100 years ago. So
Mhm.
that means none of these buildings have air conditioning really. It's all fucking hot all the time. Like you have window units, like that's really the only form of like real air conditioning that most buildings in New York City have. And it's just because it's just too old. So that just means that New York is just miserably hot in the summer. Anywhere you go, there's not much air conditioning occurring. Unlike Florida, which is like hot, but because it's been hot forever, when they built these things, they're like, all right, we need some type of way to cool. So air conditioning is like a staple in Florida. There's nowhere you're gonna go that's gonna be like, there's no way to keep this. There's a central air, like every fucking room and every fucking house has a constant vent, like cooling your house. Where in New York, it's like when it's summertime, you're just fucking miserable from 9 a.m. to like 7 p.m. until it gets cool at night.
It's
Like,
funny. You could even go on Billionaires Row on Park Avenue, the most expensive zip code in America, or maybe even in the world. And some of these, but they're really old buildings, they all have like huge window units on it. Like they still don't have like the proper ventilation to do like what is that called when you have like AC by like you just set the dial and stuff
Central
like
Central
that.
AC.
air.
Central
it's a
air.
central air.
Yeah, there's no central air in any of these buildings. It's just AC units.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you're talking about how crazy New York is getting right now, right? It's spring break this last week, and this coming week is spring break for like college kids. Miami just issued a state of emergency because of the number of spring breakers that are just trying. They're like, "Fuck it, we're partying," and
Niggas is
they're
wildin'.
afraid now that the Florida like COVID numbers are gonna spike like crazy because all these college kids are just gonna fucking get, like Miami usually gets crazy during spring break, and I think it's Tallahassee or
Yeah, it's like the
is it
Panhandle,
Tallahassee?
Sarasota,
Isn't Pensacola a party spot too?
Pensacola. It's all on the like
Pensacola.
top
What
part.
Tampa? There's a city
It's-
like out west.
It's at this
dude.
part
You
of
ever
Florida.
you ever watch Spring Breakers?
Yes.
That movie's horrible. Wherever that's taking place, that place is infamous.
That's Pucho's favorite guy in that whole fucking movie.
Spring Break.
Nigga just kept repeating that shit.
forever. That shit is horrible.
It was like brainwashing.
fucking James Franco. That was actually
He's a good
it's
actor.
an okay movie. There's okay parts in that movie, but my God, is it horrible? Fucking Gucci Mane in that movie, horrible.
Apparently, Riff Raff tried to sue them because he said James Franco was copying his entire image.
Yeah, before anybody even knew that Riff Raff fucking existed. But Riff Raff claims to be what he was too cool for school in elementary school. He said.
What a shame that we all know that Riff Raff exists.
Yep.
My brother had a favorite interview where he said he was too cool for kindergarten or elementary, so he quit. He quit
The
elementary.
fuck,
quit
yo?
elementary. It was too cool for school.
No, that's just called being a dummy, bro.
Yep.
That's weird. Fuck. What the hell were we talking about again? We just go off of
started
so
talking
many
about the pandemic
tangents.
now, I guess.
Yeah, it's fucking. But no, yeah, Miami issued a fucking a curfew on for 8 o'clock or 9 p.m. or some shit like that now because of the
No
party.
way.
Yeah, of the partying the last previous couple days. But dude, they had like hundreds of people on the street dancing on cars and acting a fool, throwing money in the air. And no one's wearing a mask, and everybody's everywhere. I was just like, yo, these guys is bugged out.
I guarantee there's gonna be more champagne on the streets up the block than there is at the clubs in New York, yo. For some reason, there's a group of guys on my block. It's real cool guys. They're all super Harlem, but for some reason, anytime they get to celebrate anything, they buy pallets of champagne, cheap champagne, shake it all over the street. It's just their way to celebrate. It's just spraying champagne everywhere and all over people. When Joe Biden won, oh my God. Yo, New York was it's very rare when you step outside and it's like an electricity outside, bro. Everybody is in such a good mood that you are also in a good mood because you just see nothing but smiling faces, people enjoying themselves. Yo, the streets were crowded. Like when Joe Biden won in New York, man, what a blessing, bro, because I have not had to worry about politics ever since he won. I've kind of had to like turn it off. Like, all right, I can just like relax now that we don't have a fucking.
No, that's the opposite.
This is the time that we got to be just as vigilant about politics. You know, there's
No, I
still
know.
like 6,000 kids down on the border in fucking cages.
Yeah,
That's
We
a
can't
fact.
give this man a pass just because he's a fucking just because he's blue.
it's just it was a lot to deal with, man. When Trump was president, just having to deal with him every day saying something outrageous, and it was just
funny.
too
Man's
much.
an idiot. It was just funny.
But
though.
what do you got there, Pucho? I saw some
Well,
opinions for me.
Yeah, no. All right, because the whole kids in cages thing, right? Well, yeah, this motherfucker's on a tear today. This is insane.
It's those
4 or
like
5.
it's those like 5 shots of JMO that he
This
did. throughout
motherfucker.
this
Even Cat's upset.
podcast.
Cat
This point,
left.
his dick is just an open hose. It's just piss is just leaking at all times.
Shit is ridiculous.
So the whole kids in cages thing, right? So one thing I don't like about this, and I've been seeing a lot of lefties, and when I say lefties, I'm talking like real communists, like the real super progressive people.
Yeah.
That
The very online leftist anarchists. Yeah.
I can't stand it. So I've been seeing a lot of like Biden's putting kids in cages the same way Trump was putting kids in cages, right? And if you want to just look at the fact that there are kids and they are in cages, then sure, like it's sort of true, but like the policies are like and the ways in which this is occurring is like vastly different. Where like under the Trump presidency, right? If some people got caught like crossing a border or something like that,
They'd separate the families.
they would separate the families. So like they'll put the women in one place, the men in another place, and they'll put the children in their own place.
Yeah, and apparently currently there's been a some kind of big amount of unaccompanied minors crossing the border for some fucking reason.
Correct. So basically, it's a very unfortunate situation. But what it looks like is happening is a lot of people are just like the problem gets very complicated when you have a child at the border, right?
Mhm.
Because if this is an adult, you'll say, okay, well, someone just crossed the border illegally. They're a grown man. If I send them back, they should have some means to figure their situation out. They could work a job. They could go back home. Like, they're adults. They could think. They could figure something out. But when you got a child at the border, right? What happens when a little kid tries to cross the border by himself? It's like, what do you do with that kid? If you send them back, you might be sending them to death. If you send them with any random adult, like, that could be some sex trafficking dude you're sending them back with. So then now you got sort of a complicated problem on your hands. So it seems like out of all the bad choices you can make, the best bad choice you can make is to hold them in this center and try to find this kid's family in the hopes that you could send these kids back to some safe environment. And that's the situation that's like occurring now. Not to go on the whole spiel. It's just it's interesting you brought that up. And I've been seeing a lot of people, even people on my timeline that are like,
well, I think it's a push to be better. Like, it's not enough to just not be Trump, right? It's not 100%. And there are reasons for the situation, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't expect better of ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, we're supposed to be the best country in the fucking world. We're supposed to be the leader of democracy and freedom and American pie and all that. And so there should be a better solution than putting these kids into cages, because, you know, I've seen pictures of some of these like holding stations, and I know that it's a lot of people, like, they're working with their budget. They're doing the best they can. I don't think that there is a straight up like malicious intent necessarily with some of the holding facilities, but they're shitholes. Like, some of them are just seriously like fucking chain link fences on concrete and with concrete floors that they were holding these people in.
Yeah. So then the other unfortunate situation here as well is COVID, right? Because there's so many unaccompanied minors coming to the border, they had to reopen a facility that the Trump administration was using as, you know, one of the facilities that all the like Democrats and the lefty, including myself, I was upset that like we were separating children at the border and putting these kids in this like facility, right? And now the Biden administration, they had to reopen this facility, and the reason is they couldn't pack all these kids in the one more decent place because they were afraid that putting too many people together, people were going to get COVID, it was going to spread, and you're going to end up killing a bunch of kids. So then they had to reopen this other facility that they closed down after the Trump administration left, and they basically had to reuse these cages that these kids are in now. So yeah, it is a very shitty circumstances. Unfortunately, it seems like right now in the immediate, it seems like the best option out of all the options, unfortunately.
Yeah,
is
I
to
heard
put kids in a cage, which sounds fucking atrocious.
They're giving women hysterectomies. They're taking out their working parts so that they don't get impregnated at these places as well.
That's fucking.
That was.
I'd heard that under the Trump administration. I hadn't heard anything recently about that.
That was last year they started.
I mean, that's a straight up fucked up thing to do in general. Like,
yep,
that's not even legal.
Forced hysterectomies.
You said, is that even legal?
That's not legal. You can't.
I mean, it depends, right? I'm not arguing whether it's right or wrong. I personally think that that's fucked up, and I think it's wrong. You're asking though, is it legal? And it's hard. You get into this very gray area when you're talking about illegal immigrants, people that don't really have rights in our country because they're not citizens, so they're not afforded the same liberties that we are.
So we're just forced to just treat them like pieces of like shit, like animals.
Sorry. I didn't say that we're forced. You're asking what rights do they have?
Yeah,
I'm saying that because they're illegal, they don't have a lot. They have very minor rights. I think they only covered under certain like international type laws. I don't think that they really have any real rights in America. Like legally, I'm speaking, right? Not what I'm saying, what should happen. I'm saying the rules that are in place. And I mean, it kind of makes sense what they're doing. It's just fucked up, right? Like what they're basically saying is we are already dealing with an excess of people. So if these people are going to live here and start having babies in our like country, then they're gonna then you get into weird places where, well, that kid was born here, so now they might have a right to stay here, but then you gotta maybe send the parents back, and it's like them trying to figure out a solution to that problem, which again, I'm not defending. I think it's super fucked up. I don't think you should be performing any forced surgeries to change people's lives forever.
Sterilization is what we would call it when the Nazis did it.
Right. So I think that's super fucked up.
Yeah, I would agree. That's just not cool at all. Might as well just start saying that we can force anybody in the fucking country, rights or not, saying like, yo, you're only limited to having 2 kids in the household. You can't have more than 2 kids.
The way it was in China for a long time, and now they have an issue in China where one kid is taking care of 4 grandparents.
They've also got a shortage of women because it was primarily male heirs that were desired. So that the men outnumber women like 2-to-1 or something crazy like that over there.
Insanely. In the countryside, it's insane. There's towns of just men.
Weird shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we were talking pandemic though, right? We got sidetracked.
I mean, this is the border situation because of the pandemic. It goes.
So I'm curious about Tony and Doughy, like what your experience has been like with the pandemic, because I feel like Pucho and me probably have a different experience because we're both in the tech industry. We were able to kind of I've been just work from home. Like I could, if realistically with delivery services and being a thing, I could have just stayed in my I have mostly been, but I could just have been in my little hovel, my little cave this entire past year. I think we're just a little bit over the 1 year mark.
Nothing
I could have seen no other person for this past year. Like I that was realistically an experience I could have had because it's been working remote and getting shit delivered, and yeah, so I feel like my pandemic experience is a little bit different than y'all's.
Yeah, I had a serious drinking problem before the pandemic started. So like the one thing that I could say that kind of saved me in this the COVID pandemic is I had to stop drinking, and I kind of had to take a real look at my life because I was drinking so I didn't have to like think about it stuff and like have I was going through a lot of depression, and like whether this whole thing was a blessing in disguise, I can't say it is because it's terrible. I've had friends that died, parents died. Shit is fucking terrible. But I guess there is a silver lining. I kind of got my shit together, and New York was just insane the first few months. It was like a mass exodus. Everybody was leaving New York. It was just fucking everybody was going to move out of state, New Jersey, Connecticut. They just were getting the fuck out of New York because everybody literally it changed the landscape and the feeling of New York because it's like the things that you didn't give a fuck about before, which was overcrowding and like homeless people that were, unfortunately they're very dirty. They haven't taken showers. So stuff you did not look and care about it before. Now you're like, it's a new anxiety. I got to see some tragic things happen. I got to see people. I unfortunately witnessed a suicide at my job. A guy threw himself off the 24th floor of his balcony, and I had to see that shit. And it's probably because he couldn't take it anymore. The whole staying inside for months and nobody's allowed outside and curfews. And then we had the riots because of the George Floyd and all of that stuff happened. That was insane. That whole George Floyd riot situation in New York, and it was around 5:00 and 4:00, and a lot of the businesses were like, oh shit, it's going down. So they tried to close their businesses in the Bronx. The Bronx was out of control. Police were getting hit by cars on purpose. Like it was it was unexplicable how bad things got over here when all of that was going on. But for the most part, we kept it together, and now you're seeing like us come out the other side. And even last summer was real weird. You know what I mean? Nobody was really used to going to parks like that. Nobody was really used to doing these other things we used to do when we were children.
Mhm.
It was like, now we're going back to the park. Now we're doing picnics. Now we're going to do all these outdoor activities. And it's kind of like a renaissance in New York where kind of people are just outside more now. And it's no more, there's not a lot of tourists. There's not a lot of, it's just us. Whoever was left after this whole exodus happened. And I got my bike. Like, it just, like, things just, I started doing things differently. I didn't like going on the subway. I got a bike to change that, and now biking is my favorite thing to do ever. So, and this is something I was doing in middle school and high school. So, like, in that way, you've gotten these great things you know how to do now, and kind of that were lost in translation back before COVID, because it was always bar, club. It was always like the same things over and over. Get lit, get fucking. Now it's like different, different.
Different.
I heard it.
Different.
I
Yeah,
held myself
you really
back.
buffled up that word there, dude.
You need to stop buffling shit.
I'm a different bastard.
How's
Yeah,
the
but that
pandemic been for you, Tony?
Nothing's changed other than me not being able to hang out, go to bars and shit. Work has been the same. I go to work like it's nothing.
Are you having to work? Are
Nobody
you having to
wears
work? Are you having to wear a mask while you're working?
At first, we all did, but then, since I work in a shop, I have a whole bay to myself. So in my bay, I don't have to wear a mask. But if I venture off to other people's bay or go in the break room or something, you had to wear a mask.
Okay.
So other than that, like, yeah, it was just like a normal day, going to work, working, and being a little bit more conscious of who you're around and what you're doing, making sure you have a mask on and shit. But other than that, yeah, work never stopped. The hours never stopped. Like, it's just, everybody else stopped though. You know what I mean? Like, people, like, even my wife was affected because she didn't know she was going to still be have a job. So it's just like, she'll work like 2 days, 3 days out of the week. And it was just like, damn, like, hours
that's around the
cut
time
and
they were
shit.
filing for bankruptcy or something like that. I
Yeah,
remember.
they were going through all that, and yeah. So I mean, I was lucky enough that my job still continued on, even though it was weird, but they still went on, and I didn't really see any effect on my paycheck. Really, it was just whatever, just whatever. Everybody else is going through the money struggles and shit, and I was still fucking working nonstop. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, working in my line of work, having to be in everybody's face and shit like that, there was definitely a scare. A lot of the guys in the building I work at retired, like just flat out retired. They're like, yo, I'm a grandfather. I got kids. I got I got all these things to worry about. I don't want to come here catch. And a lot of maybe five guys at my job have contracted COVID.
Oh, wow.
And it feels like I'm dodging bullets left and right in there. You know what I mean? But the one thing I will add, yo, this whole everybody being washing their hands shit, all germaphobes, I have not gotten sick. Knock on wood. You know what I mean? Like, I got a cold, you know what I mean, sometime 6 or 7 months ago. But I have not gotten sick ever since this whole COVID shit started. And I'm usually that kind of guy where when the seasons are changing, I get sick.
Mhm.
And I haven't experienced that yet. I think that's one of the things of everybody washing their hands and people cleaning more often. I think that kind of helped that whole thing.
That's funny that you say dodging bullets because, like, there's certain people that I've hung out with and they all have gotten COVID, right? Like Brian, my boy Ray, Ronald, Randy, like all these guys that I've hung out with a couple times.
Is Tony admitting to being an asymptomatic carrier
No,
here? He's over here
definitely not.
infecting everyone with COVID.
Definitely not. And I hang out with them, and then 5 days later, they're all chilling, doing whatever they're doing, talking or whatever. And then 2 days later, and like the day I would go and be like, yo, what are y'all doing? Like, yo, we're all mad sick. We all got the vid. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, what a bunch of dicks. So I just like, all right, whatever, nigga. That's my cue not to venture off over there. And then somebody at my job got it. I was like, fuck. Didn't get hit. Got tested twice. Didn't get hit. Boom. Then another person at my job got it because he wanted to go to fucking Daytona or whatever, travel. He caught that shit. Dodged a bullet there. Took 2 tests, negative. So it's like, everybody around me or that I know have gotten COVID or something. And it's just like, yo, at myself, I'm like, damn, like I've been around all these people, even ever got it, you know what I mean? Like all these people got it, and it's just like, damn, I've dodged all these fucking COVID attacks. You know what I mean? So it's just like, am I immune to it? Because me and my wife got sick way back in the day. Now that sounds stupid, right? Like me and my wife got it 2000 before the outbreak happened in like November, right? Around my birthday, we were both sick, but it wasn't any of the symptoms that anybody got, but we were fucking sick, like chest pains, all this shit. And at that time, no one knew of COVID. COVID wasn't a thing. Then January, February, March came, and now COVID's an outbreak. And then I always told myself, like, damn, baby, maybe we already got it, and we got this immune now. That like,
I've heard that from so many people though, and even if you catch COVID and the immunity that lasts after that, it's only like 3 months. Like it wouldn't have covered you past like the last year. I think there's something comforting about thinking that you already caught this shit.
No, but I'm still taking
from it, and you're fine.
No, I'm taking precautions still. Like when anybody I know got it, I'm away from my wife. Like I'm in this room. Chilling, like
he's not saying like a sense of security. He's saying that there's I guess there's a comfort in knowing that
you already got it.
That maybe you already had it. That maybe you're not gonna get it. You maybe feel a little bit more relaxed about it. You know.
I mean, I've got 13 days until I am basically immune because I just got my second poke yesterday.
Oh, you got your shot. Nice.
You got your second shot or your first?
Second shot,
second
dude.
shot.
Oh, so you're done.
Yeah, I've got 2 weeks until I'm immune. They said some of the side effects for like the benefits of getting the vaccine, though, like it gives you the immunity against COVID. I don't have to tip anymore whenever I'm at the bar. I can use the 15 item or less express lane, even if I got like a full shopping cart.
Damn.
I can park in handicaps parking now.
Wow.
I never have to take back my card, and the NARC card isn't going to come after me.
Damn.
But now, what's
sunblock
COVID
anymore? Like,
which vaccine did you get for COVID? Because apparently there's 3 different COVIDs, and each vaccine is for each COVID.
I got the Pfizer, so I guess that's my gang on this one.
Pfizer.
Yeah. All right, is everybody here getting COVID shots? Pucho, are you getting it? When it's available?
Am I going to get it?
Yeah, when it's available for you, like you and Lisi?
Of course.
Does the baby does Liana need one too?
Eventually, right?
Eventually, maybe. I don't think, like right now, I don't think they've given any babies or toddlers the vaccine.
Children,
I think they're experimenting like now with like school-aged kids, maybe like 12 or something like that. Like, I don't know. They're usually pretty careful about like giving babies and stuff like that a vaccine.
What's 10? What's
the number of times he's gone to the bathroom this episode?
Yo, this motherfucker kills me, son.
We need to just buy that man some adult diapers, and he can just piss himself on camera next time we're having an episode.
Or like Dwight Schrute in the episode where he wanted to increase his productivity, or he wanted to beat the computer at sales. He hooked up a fucking catheter to himself, and he was like pissing in the. He's like.
And everybody's like, "Yo,
I just went to the bathroom right now." Like he's trying to shorten all his breaks and shit. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, for me, Mateo's not wrong in that I'm largely unaffected by the pandemic. Like I'm always like been a homebody, so like pretty much one day to the next, I just sort of been a little bit more of a homebody. Like I work from home now because, like Mateo said, I work in tech, so it's just like I just do my job at home. I could do my job most places, so it's like. I've gone in and work a few times. There's been a few instances where like they needed a body to go and do something. And yeah, pretty much. So I just been working from home. The shitty part is I do enjoy watching sports with my friends, having drinks with my friends, stuff like that. And I've largely, I don't know, I've maybe taken the precautions maybe a little bit more seriously than most people. So like I haven't eaten out at a restaurant at all. I haven't gone to a bar. I haven't
had nobody
gotten
come
a haircut.
over.
Like What was that?
I said you haven't had nobody come over and haircuts, all that. That's why you started doing the shavings, because it's like you avoided all, for the most part, other than visiting your parent, your mother and father. Like you've been confined to your house. Like you guys definitely taking it way more serious than any one of us.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for how seriously anybody is actually taking it, but
No,
yeah,
I'm saying,
I think, yeah, I've basically not. I've gone to my mother's house, I think,
twice,
2 or 3 times now. And yeah, that's the extent of I think I went to like a church one day, like it was like some kid got baptized or something. So I think that might be the only public thing that I've like. I'm sorry, not public thing, because I took my daughter to the zoo one day and I like shit like that. Like I'll do my own thing, but I'm mainly just trying to do activities that are outside, away from people and shit like that. Yeah, it sucks because my favorite shit to do is to just hang out with my friends. So it's like, I don't know, I haven't done any of that.
My drinking has gone down so far the past year because I like the social aspect of drinking. Apparently, didn't know that before. I thought I just liked drinking and getting fucked up, but apparently not so much.
That's the only time I drink.
I like sitting around and drinking and bullshitting with people. So like, I don't know. It's not quite the same on Zoom. And, Doughy and I are here like cheersing each other and drinking, but it's not the same. A little bit missing.
My drinking went down dramatically, and then it fucking skyrocketed for a little while. Like, because at first it was like, yeah, I'm a social drinker. So like, once you remove the people out of the equation, it's like, all right, there's no drinking occurring pretty much. And I didn't drink for weeks and months, if anything. And then we started hopping on the House Party, which is a video app. And then forget about it. We would just have the House Party app open, and we're just talking like this, having drinks, and then it got nuts, because then it was like every day of the week someone would be like, "You down for shots?" And I'm like, "Fuck it." And dude, I was buying. Yeah, it got a little out of control for a little while.
We found the wonderful PS4 version of Monopoly.
Oh my god!
God!
That was
funny. We were all playing Monopoly on PS4 online. Just again,
you had to play by the real Monopoly rules, though, huh? With like the bidding on like property you don't buy and all that shit.
Yeah. It was a little weird at first, but I mean, it turns out it's still pretty good. It's a pretty good game, although it's fun in the beginning, then it gets boring.
Because you get people doing stupid shit, dope boy.
They be making alliances and truces.
That's the shit that I don't like about Monopoly. That shit is
Jesus
the worst.
and Doughboy was the worst.
You got people making horrible deals that barely benefits them, but they're fucking the whole game over. Yeah, and it's like, bro, like. The worst is they be dead set on making the shitty deal, and you're like trying to cut in on the deal. You're like, yo, there's a better deal. Like, let me cut then you're trying to maneuver your way into that deal to kind of prevent a shitty situation. And then, some people, they don't know how to negotiate, you know what I'm saying? So they make some bullshit there, and they basically make everybody lose. And the worst part is they make a deal that they're going to lose in the end. So it's like, why are you even making that?
The last time I played Monopoly in person, the table got flipped because we were playing with Adam and Corey, and I forget who else was playing with us. Adam being the G-man that was referenced earlier. And Adam had like Park Place, and I had Boardwalk, or maybe they was swapped around. And we formed a rental agreement where we were doing profit sharing on those two. So one person owned it. But we were both put in money to build hotels on it. And if the other person landed on it, you got immunity. And then we split profits down the middle of anyone else that landed on it. And we built hotels and that shit immediately. Corey landed on that once. And he's like, fine, fuck it, whatever. And then if the next time around lands right back on Boardwalk with a hotel on it. And is just looking at his money. And he's like, fuck you guys. And flipped the table on us. That game ruins friendships. It ruins absolutely everything in your life.
There's definitely
It's mainly because of the deals that people cut, like especially the out of the playbook. Like you can't fucking rev share a property in Monopoly. So like once you start doing that type of shit, it gets crazy. Like one thing we used to do back in the day, similar to that, is like, you trade some properties and you trade an agreement of like, yo, you're gonna let me slide on those properties for some period of time.
five times or something like that.
Right. Now 5 slides, that's a lot. Three
That's
is
a
the
lot of
customary. 3 is the customary slidage. Okay.
I made my sister cry hard. Nayeli, the little one, playing Monopoly with him. Everybody thinks I'm a cheater, so I can't be the banker or whatever. Cool. I'm not
allowed to be the banker either.
I just make good fucking plays for myself. I make shit
Every
sound
time I'm
great.
the bank, I steal money. So
See, look at that shit, thieves. So my sister had these
that
properties.
comes with the territory. That's what being the bank means. Is you steal money.
So my sister Nai's like, oh, she got a property that I need so I can control a whole alley, right? I want her to control it. So I said, oh, Naiji, if you give me this property, I'll give you these like water. It was a water and electric or whatever, some bullshit property, right? I was like, here, and for the first 3 times or 5 times you land on this avenue, I won't hit you. Oh, okay. Swap. Nigga, I just know she forgot about the other avenue I already controlled. So as soon as she landed, wah, banked that shit. She started crying. My mom was like, why are you crying, Najee? Tony took all my properties and I can't play no more. And I'm here just cashing up the money, checking it out. I bet. I was like, and I take my 2 properties back because I bankrupt you. So those are mine now. So I won.
That's not how the rules work.
That's how I play. So then I bought that shit. It's all mine. And then she starts crying and my dad comes running. Hey, cabrón. Dad, tu hermana juega. Cursing me the fuck out. I'm like, yo, if she can't play, that's her problem. I made a deal. That's her problem.
Yeah. Back in the day, parents were the ultimate cheat code.
Yeah, fuck out of here. Not me. I ain't letting that shit
Not in
rock.
my house, yo. That shit used to piss me off, bro. I still remember, yo. I have a lot of little stories where I realized life ain't fair, yo. My birthday party, okay?
Your birthday
My
party.
birthday party. We're playing the limbo, okay? Everybody's lined up going under this fucking broomstick.
How old are you, by the way?
7?
Oh, wow. Young.
6, 7, something like that. And Everett got eliminated, right? Then I got eliminated. And then Everett's mom snuck him back into the line.
Oh, my.
And I said, nah, that ain't right. I remember seeing that shit. And I was like, yo, that's fucking foul, yo. Yeah, some people get the parent treatment. Like I grew up with other kids that'll cry to their moms, and their moms would bend rules and shit.
You said Everett was crying to get back in line?
What was that?
You said Everett was crying to get back in line?
Oh no! I don't think he was crying. Maybe he just said something, but yeah, his mom put him back in the line. I thought
Did he get eliminated again immediately?
Yeah, pretty soon after. He didn't win. But if he would have won though,
You would have been tight. You would have been like,
oh,
nah.
I was already tight. As soon as I saw him get in the line, I said, "This is fucked up. This ain't fair."
You know what game gets really aggressive towards the end?
Uno?
Fucking chair game. What's the shit?
Musical chair.
Oh, musical chair.
Oh,
My
Mad
God.
aggressive.
I've seen grown adults shove little kids out of the way.
no,
Facts.
No, I've got a story about that. So I went to a party. One of my exes. She worked in childcare. So it's a bunch of other women there that work at this preschool. And I showed up to this party, and man, I had forgotten how much preschool teachers party, because we showed up to this this sponsored thing. It was an official event by the school, and these girls were lit. Like, we showed up like an hour and a half late, and these women had already done an amount of shots. Like they had a good amount of tequila in them already. And then like there's prizes, and then they're doing like the chair thing. And there was a pregnant woman that was like playing, and like a bunch of like teenage kids that some girls had brought. And I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do this one. I don't think that I'm gonna spend this musical chairs game pushing teenagers onto the ground or anything. I'm a 30-year-old man. I don't need to do that. That pregnant woman got knocked to the ground by some of these women on the round of the last 3 chairs.
Yo,
She was in these big ass like 4 or 5 inch heels and like already wobbly because had the big pregnant belly on these heels.
Fuck, she's in
And she got
heels.
butt scooted out of a chair straight onto her ass.
Why is she wearing heels? She's pregnant.
I don't. I mean, maybe she wanted to feel sexy or something.
That's dangerous as fuck. Whatever. That's what happens when you play musical chair. You get knocked the fuck off. Like playing with the Mexican, with my Mexican side of the family, they play musical chairs. That shit becomes very fucking dangerous. Because not only what people do, they do that move where they think the song's gonna end, so they're slow tipping around the chair, so there's a gap in between them. Yeah. And then, everyone would just start throwing their ass
They'll be
first.
like this as they pass
Yeah.
it. They'll be like so that they can grab it and sit
bees.
down.
Bees.
It's a butt hover too, dude. You'll shake your ass an inch above the chair.
People used to be like, there's a bunch of games that ruin friendships. Uno, Spades, Tunk, Monopoly, fucking Phase 10. All these games, like, I don't know how y'all play Uno, but I play Uno where we can do, it's called Train.
No.
Where you can just stack
the
cards.
way you play Uno is wrong. I've played
it's
Uno
not.
with you.
No, it's not. I play that shit right, nigga. Straight
He
right.
wants to do 1, 1, 1, 1, 2.
No, you could do same
3,
other. No.
4,
I don't do
5,
that.
3, 4. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he does number hopping. He does color hopping. He's like, if he does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they could.
They got to be all the same color.
The numbers.
No, they got to be the same color.
What?
They got to be the same color. Like 1 through 7 has to be the same color, or you can do 7 sevens.
Yeah, but that's already
doesn't
in the
matter the
rule
color.
book. You could just drop the like. Can't you just drop as many of the same color? No. You can only drop one card at a time.
One card at a time is the rule book.
It's a fucking bum ass rule.
You can match color or match.
I remember he hit me. I hit him with a reverse. He hit me with like 2 reverses and a wild card after.
That's the rules, my nigga. We playing the rules
I
here.
love when you be like reverse and another reverse, so it's my turn again. Like, no, it don't work that way. Okay?
And then
That is 100% not how
and
it
then the
works.
draw twos. The continuation of draw twos. I drop a draw 2. Puto drops a draw 2. That next person better have a draw 2, or not. You get hit with 4.
See, the waterfall is in the rules. That shit is actually part of the rules. But you can't double reverse someone to make it your turn again.
Tony got a lot of crazy fucking Uno rules.
I'm gonna
Tony
drop
could
5
drop
skips.
30 cards.
I'm gonna drop 5 skips, so it's my turn for 5 turns now.
Yeah, that works.
He'll be like double reverse, my turn. Double reverse, skip, double reverse, draw 4. You drew, now it's my turn. Draw 2.
Uno,
and
uno,
it's like, pero ven acá. How many? And he'll hit you with a grand combo. That DK, he'll eliminate you out the game. You never even got a turn.
Nope.
Like, shit don't make no kind of sense.
It just is what it is, man. That's the rules. Get with it.
Nah. Uno, spades, you could lose a friendship. playing
Oh
spades.
man, if you renege on spades, get the fuck out of here.
The problem with spades is you might lose friends with the people you're playing against because people like to talk so much shit while playing spades.
Yeah.
But that's whatever. Usually your beef is with your own teammate. It's usually like, yo, what the fuck? I was dropping this, then you switched it up on me, and then
Try to give each other the eyes.
Oh, across the table? Yeah, that shit is.
Fucking Leighton will be the spade master. He fucking shame you into doing all the right moves.
You got to think about it because, like, as soon as you hear, and then people fight about calling people out for talking over the table. You see the eyes be like, "But you got over there," and you be like, "Yo, you tired of cards?" No, the fuck, I'm not, nigga. I ain't even say shit about the cards. I'm like, yo, we're watching your face.
That's cheating, though. That's
It
straight up
is.
cheating. I do not condone anybody talking over the table in the middle of spades in any way. The only talking you do is by the cards you're putting down. Your teammate got to read the cards you're placing and figure out what you're going for.
The one thing I always did love about reneging is when you see the renege happen, but you let it sit and you remember where it's at, right? And then later down the road, if they're beating you, be like, yo, matter of fact, you reneged on this hand. Look, you see where you dropped the spade, nigga? You had a heart. You played the heart here. And everybody's like, wait, what? What's going on? And then you look and you do the count. It's like, oh, give me those books, nigga. And it's
that fucks up the entire game, though. Then you've got to sit there and do like mental math. Like, well, that would have changed all these hands. So now we...
And then I get my books and we won. And that's like, fuck you.
Yeah. If you don't call the renege when it happens, it didn't happen.
Nah, you can call it.
I think that's a rule, if I'm not correct.
I never heard that.
I don't even know the rule. Spades had a rule book. I don't even know where this game comes from.
I knew how to play hearts, and I went and played spades with y'all, and I only kind of knew what I was doing because I'd played hearts before.
Even Tunk's from, I think, prison. I think Tunk was made in prison too.
That's what everybody at school. Hey man, you got to know what to play when you go to jail. I'm like, why am I preparing to go to jail? I'm like,
that's what you do in the hood.
You got to play them hood games, man. Tunk was fire though. Tunk was fire. You had to get the cards to drop it, and shit's fire. I was at one of my friends, Ebo's house, and they were playing Tunk for money. Yo, these niggas is gambling hundreds of dollars. It's crazy because you can have a side bet, and I guess when they play like. The highest spade is one bet. So if you put $10, somebody's got to match your 10. If you got an ace of spade, you automatically get a book. And yo, I'm just seeing like hundreds of dollars on the table, and they're like, bam, another 100, bam. This one guy said in 2 weekends he made like $1,800 off these niggas. I was like, this is fucking wild. Like, I ain't never seen no crazy shit like this. But yeah, Tunk was
whack though. Like, cause wasn't Tunk like you either had to get like 3 cards
to drop
were like a series, so like 4, 5, 6, or 4 or 3 of a kind, and then you could drop the 3 cards. And so then you start with 5 cards, you pick up a card, so now you have 6 cards. You could you figure out like what move you could play, and then you always got to drop a card. So then you'll end up with 2 cards if you play the move. And then you could just drop at any time.
But there was some people will add rules.
That sounds like rummy.
Right. It might be it might be the same game, but it's stupid. Like right in the beginning of the game, let's say you got like as an example, let's say you got like 4 aces and like a 2, like for a fact, like you got the lowest numbers. You could just drop your cards, be like, boom, let's see if I won. And if you got the lowest number, if your cards add up to the least, you just win the game.
Yep.
So it's like at any moment you could just end the game. I found it very silly.
That's weird. Yeah, I've never even heard of that one.
Yeah, it was definitely wild. And then like you get an automatic cash if you get 45 points in your hand that you get. So if you get 4 face cards and a 5, that's automatic bread right there, just winning off the table. I'm just like, damn.
I think we used to play for quarters on the bus when we were fucking broke as a joke.
Trying to get lunch
like
money.
6th and 7th grade.
Yeah. Good times. Hood games.
Facts.
Good times. But yeah, I think that's it for this pod. Nice little piece of 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's a record.
Yeah, I was gonna
that's
say
our longest.
We're approaching the Snyder Cut duration.
Fucking Tony, yo, I think we should talk about the Snyder Cut. It's like nobody's seen it. Yeah, watch it. It's like it's 4 fucking hours. I don't think I could watch that in like 4 hours
Watch
notice. Like I gotta start now.
Nah, watch it this week so we could talk about it on the next pod. That's it.
For sure.
Do that.
But thank you to all the listeners checking us out this week on this episode 9, is it? This is episode 9, right? 9 episodes in, man, of the One Up podcast. We appreciate all of you guys for listening and taking your time out. And yeah, thank you for the support, man. And just keep liking it and giving us feedback on everything we do.
Shout out to whoever's on Reddit watching us.
Facts.
Oh, yeah, facts.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big fact. But yeah, thank you. And this is the One Up podcast. Peace.